Enzo.com. That's Enzo.com. That's Enzo.com.
What do you mean, prove? I love weed.
Oh yeah, but I live in Utah, brother.
Why is it still? Is it illegal or something?
Depends on your zip code.
We just barely got medical, but like you actually got to go.
Oh, dude, you're good. We don't even. Oh yeah, we got medical. Yeah, we got medical.
Yeah, where it's like you can go in and be like, my stony hurts, and they'll just, oh, here you go. Back before they legalized it.
All right, I'm gonna do the intro
What's
when
that?
we start here. I'm gonna do the intro when we start here, guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, do you think?
Yeah.
Enzo.com. That's Enzo.com.
That's me.
And that is me. And what is up? Good evening, proletariat, rabble rousers, riffraff, lowlifes, pieces of human excrement, every single bag of dirt, douche, or scum. If you're a drag on society, thank you so much. Thank you so kindly for joining us on my Friday stream. Tonight's show includes 3 based Proud Boys, 4 if you include my Asian stenographer, Genghis Khan, but he doesn't count. He's also not present again, unfortunately. Anyways, at least I'm here, along with the always informative and indefensible Paul Bazile. Now, Paul is producing a new show on Censor.tv called Radio Deadly, hosted by Michael Graves, a consummate friend of the show. And that show can be seen every Thursday night, I believe. And is that correct?
Thursday during the day, I think we put it up.
Thursday during the day, okay.
I don't know why, but that's when it goes up.
The other based Proud Boy goes simply by Based Hippie. Is that right?
You can just call me hippie.
I mean, he may very well. In fact, he may. What? You good?
Ready?
What's happening now? Anyway, I'm going to continue this. My other guest, if he can get situated there, he goes by the moniker Based Hippie or just Hippie. I mean, he may very well, in fact, be a dreg on society.
He's gone.
Is he gone? Dude,
Yeah.
dude, what is wrong with his setup?
As we were saying before, hippies and technology do not mix.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter how base they are. They're used to rubbing sticks together and sitting in drum circles. They don't know how to work an iPhone.
They don't.
There he is.
Now he's all back and he's acting like he's okay and he's not a total drag on society. Anyway, he definitely has dreads, and he admits to being at least a former drag, in his own words, a former Occupy and BLM scab on society. Originally from San Francisco Bay Area, Mr. Hippie drove a hippie bus around North and Central America for 6 years, preaching Marxist tripe in his own ignorance. But following the 2016 election, Based Hippie found himself finally questioning all the propaganda and brainwashing which had indoctrinated him into the trap of leftist thought patterns. He soon became a socio-political refugee, eventually landing in his current location of Salt Lake City, Utah, where he is a pending 4th degree with the Sluts. What's up, man?
What's up? I think I found my way here again.
You're good now? You're good?
90% of the words
I
in
believe
Bobby's
so.
intro hurt my feelings.
Why?
It's like he's in the San Francisco Bay Area with Black Lives. I'm like, oh, ouch, ooh, ah. I felt like I was falling down a cliff and hitting every rock on the fucking way.
Yeah, well, Hippie, Hippie reached out to me. Hippie, you said that you watched the show. Is that right?
Yeah. First episode I caught was the one you did with the guys from the Black Hebrew Israelites,
Nice.
which was a phenomenal episode.
Hell yeah, brother. Well, I, you said that you wanted to sit in on an episode, so I took you up on it. And so I really would like you to, please, if you could, share your story with us, your story of being red-pilled and what led you to join the Proud Boys from all of that. That sounds like it's going to be pretty compelling, So, and everybody can, I think I could say for myself, I used to be a libtard. I used to live in New York City. I have a degree in English, so which is a liberal arts degree, right? And I totally have been indoctrinated into that leftist thought stuff as well. I think Paul has as well, but I'm not sure how long he's been,
I when I was like way more apolitical, when I was like 18, 19, 20, I dabbled in leftist shit, but it was mostly like when I was in neutral. Like people would just go, we all know Bush is an asshole and Obama's great. And I'd be like, maybe, I don't know. This is actually way before even that. And I would go, oh yeah, I guess I'm pretty liberal and everything. And then, but the more I would hear about it, the more I'd be like, that doesn't make fucking sense. And the more stuff they told me I couldn't say, I would just resent it. Like I would resent if I told a joke and they're like, you're not allowed to say that joke. I'd be like, well, fuck you. I'm being funny. And that sort of was the gateway into, okay, none of these people have my best interest at heart. They shouldn't be telling me how to live my life. And also I happen to notice they were all fucking miserable and terrible people. So I was like, why are these the people judging my life? Like, why are these the people that want to be the arbiters of everything and in charge of everything? These are the people who they like, our way of life is great. And they all seem like a bunch of miserable assholes, which just bum me out. And that's the best thing about meeting a lot of Proud Boys. I never see miserable people. I meet guys who could talk to me for an hour. I've never fished in my life. They could talk to me for an hour about fishing. And I'd be super into it. Or they talk to me about their family. I just had a daughter. Oh, it's amazing. And it's just like, shit, man, this is great. I don't have that conversation with the left. I have a conversation about why I shouldn't be eating gluten.
It's fucking boring.
Yeah.
And so, what?
Well, I think that's one of the things that draws a lot of people to the Proud Boys is, people who are like politically motivated and but most of their friends, you start talking about politics and you're like, shut up, hippie, just shut it down. So like, I came to the Proud Boys because like I wanted people that wanted to talk politics and drink beer. Yeah. And it's a little bit like, I guess, we're in Utah, so repentant from my days in BLM and Occupy.
So you say you're from San Francisco. So you're from San Francisco originally.
Just outside of Oakland.
So it's really easy to become a total lefty out there, right? I mean, you were just born into this lefty way of thinking, correct?
Yeah, especially if you're just kind of coasting and taking everything easy, just take it all in, man.
How long have you
there's
had
no diversity of what you're taking in?
I'm sorry for talking over you, man. How long have you had dreads?
I've dreaded things all my life, man, at some point or another. But these started growing about 7 years ago, I think.
Okay. So
what's that?
Did you?
I said you dread things like what? Like the cat? Like curtains? Like what?
Oh no, things like in the back of your mind that you're dreading the future.
Oh, there was a double pun that I totally missed. Got it.
Yeah.
I just thought you had a dog walking around the house and you're just twisting his hair up, putting some Murray's beeswax in there.
Oh yeah, he's it. Actually, I didn't do anything with these. Most I did was like split them every now and then. Yeah. So whoever says like white people can't grow dreads. You know, like I love when people ask me how much I paid for my dreads. Regret. Not related to the dreads, but I regret a lot in those years. Although it's prepared me to engage with the other side of the aisle. Yeah.
I mean, most of the time, Antifa, because I usually have some kind of a mohawk going on, and Antifa will scream Mr. Minor Threat at me. And I'd just be like, all right. And in my head, I'm like, I like that fucking band. So I don't know. Like, I guess I'm Mr. Minor Threat in certain Antifa circles, but Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's another thing. I don't look like most Proud Boys either. Even though a lot of the guys have tats and stuff, but I'm way more punk rock, so I could float seamlessly in Antifa crowds most of the time.
Yeah. And that's why I wanted.
I had a buddy that.
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead, man.
No.
I said I had a buddy that was in the Dallas that initially kind of said like you'd have a pretty good time because I still kind of even though I knew the media was totally misperceiving them. Misrepresenting them. It's I knew that I still had like the violent, overly aggressive, shit starters to a degree. But my buddy who I met on the road, who was also like an occupier back in the day, like the dude who red pilled me, and the dude who told me looking at the Proud Boys. I met them both through the Occupy movement.
That's interesting.
You just kept in touch. Yeah.
That's very cool. Yeah. I mean, shit. Well, that's the thing. And I said it on the last Radio Deadly episode too. I said, I actually resent right-wingers who never red pill anyone, who never convert anyone, who don't make an argument that makes you think or anything. Because there's a lot of mouthpieces out there that just basically echo exactly what they think right-wing people want to hear because they want to jump on the bandwagon and hopefully get donation after donation for their bullshit, whatever they're trying to do. But I fucking always said, the thing that you like about a guy like Milo or the thing you like about a guy like Gavin or Crowder even or somebody like that is you actually will listen to their argument. They're funny, they're charming, and they could convince you, hey, even if you don't know a lot about it, they always have a really sound argument, which I think is key to bringing other people in. Because I come from like a punk rock background. And I remember going to shows and seeing like older guys going, these kids weren't even born when this band first started. What the fuck do they know? And in my head, I'm like, well, what music do you want them listening to? Do you want to listen? You want 14-year-olds listening to like shitty bands and going to really crappy pop music concerts? Like, don't you want them here? Like, teach them. Fucking be like, that's awesome. He's in the pit. Well, that's awesome. He's digging this song. Maybe it's his first time ever at a show. You have to start somewhere. You know what I mean? And it's the same thing with being a right-winger. Or today, being a right-winger just means you disagree with one little thing on the left. Whereas if you disagree with anything, you are alt-right, Nazi sympathizer, evil, fascist, horrible person. And like, it's the most authoritarian thing I could think of to basically be like, we agree on 99% of shit, but that 1% is the only thing that we're going to focus on. And it automatically that red pills people, because the second they get attacked, they go, well, I guess I'm a Proud Boy. And they might not agree with half the shit that most other guys agree with, but they go, shit, man, I'm going to go with the guys who bought me a beer and, made fun of my shirt over the guys who were going to sit here and tell me that I'm a shitty human being because I, don't want all guns confiscated or something like that.
Yeah, I think that there's a spectrum.
I used to try to make friends. Sorry.
This is a hard conversation.
I was going to say, that just crashed into a brick wall of silence.
Well, yeah, we got to allow everybody to have a turn to talk. And I don't know, man. Hippies should be good with that, though. Hippies are sharing. They share and they care.
Man,
right?
We can't even hand a circle. We can't even hand a joint around the circle without it getting mixed up along the way.
Really? See, is it kind of like being a hippie and stuff like that? Kind of just It's kind of bullshit, you know. I don't know. It's just a level of what is it? It's just for show, really, and it's not really put in practice.
Okay.
I feel like. What do you think?
All right, so you want to hear a crazy theory? Okay, I believe that the entire hippie movement. I've come to terms with this because I used to be, all in on the fucking hippie thing. Hand drums, drove a hippie bus around North and Central America with no money outside of what was made along the way, picking people up and whatever.
Was Grateful Dead ever part of
really
this?
Started?
How many
man,
Fish shows have you
I
been
think I was like 6 when Jerry died. I was busking outside of one, and this truck came up, dropped off this massive nitrous oxide tank, and just started selling. I think it was like $5 or $10 balloons. Just like people on the street coming out of the fish show. How did I get on that topic? Shit. Oh yeah. Okay, so when you dig into it, the timing between the first nationally syndicated broadcast, the end of MK Ultra, the key figures involved within the the original acid wave hippie movement. Do you know who Jim Morrison's dad was?
No.
Have you heard of a little thing called the Gulf of Tonkin incident?
Yes.
Yes.
You know, the what we now know to be
Vietnam.
false flag.
Yes.
Jim Morrison's dad was the admiral in charge of that entire fleet that reported back false things in order to justify going into Vietnam.
No shit.
Less than 1 year after the Gulf of Tonkin incident, Moore's album dropped. Now, Jim Morrison, it's widely documented that he had never picked up any musical instrument before. He had never, he didn't have any of his lyrics written down, the original ones. And then what else was it?
He was the Lizard King.
No, never picked up a musical instrument. But yeah, that occurred. Their first album dropped less than 1 year after the Gulf of Tonkin incident.
Interesting.
And keep in mind that this all occurred. See, where is that? Within 5 years of the end of MK Ultra.
Right.
Which I'm sure you guys know well about.
Yeah, I know
right?
MK Ultra.
Yeah.
Now,
And
how does this
Yeah,
tie into dirty hippies being hypocritical and not really doing what they say they're gonna do? I think that's what I said.
Okay, so I believe
Keep going. Sorry.
the hippie movement was put out there and installed into the culture with the intention. Have you guys seen Yuri Bezmenov's little thing on ideological subversion? He talks about how it takes 3 generations. We're 3 generations removed from the original hippie movement, and that's when it started. They planted the seeds of man-made global warming, and over the course of 3 generations, just like he says in there, you can show them the dead bodies, you can show them the camps, and they won't believe it until it comes from an authoritative source. That's
Hell yeah! So you started going down the rabbit hole of all kinds of stuff, and Yuri Bezmenov, that guy is fucking awesome, man. All that subversion shit, he is the man. And if anybody studies him or reads or watches his videos that he used to give in the 80s and 90s, man, oh my god, everything that's happening right now, and also the Gulag Archipelago book.
I know that one.
If you start reading that, it's insane, man. All the same shit that we're dealing with right now. But back to being a hippie. So you're a hippie. You're driving around on a hippie bus. You said you're preaching Marxist diatribe or whatever to people and stuff, and you totally bought into it. How did you get into this stuff? Bring me back. You're growing up in San Francisco. You obviously grew up around that whole culture, right?
I actually grew up in Colorado, Utah.
Okay.
I moved to the Bay Area when I was like right before my 19th birthday, and then lived out there for the better part of it. I think 11 years. Minus the time bouncing around on the road.
Nice.
But yeah, like my entire personal political development occurred, after high school and when I was out there.
So you moved to let's really paint it for what it is. You moved to San Francisco, you were brainwashed by San Francisco, and you just became a total dirty hippie living there in San Fran. That's what happened. I mean, Jesus Christ. That's awesome. And then
I don't like the term brainwashed. I would say like lured.
All right.
Seduced.
Well, how were you seduced into it? How were you lured into it?
Hippie pussy.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. When was the first time you had hippie pussy?
What does? Oh man, that depends on your definition of hippie. Many identify as hippies, but like.
Yo, isn't it crazy the vibes on the different coasts? How they're so different, man. Like the East Coast is like in your face and just crazy, and then the West Coast is all relaxed and chill. It's like, wow, dude, calm down, bro. No, I should really just let's slow down the podcast. So
I could try. I'm from New Jersey, New York, man. I got places to be. That's the thing. That's why we love the Ramones. 2-minute songs, no breaks in between. 1, 2, 3, 4, and they're into another album. And 15 minutes later, the album's over, and you go, "Oh wow, this is amazing." And that's one of the reasons every time I go to the West Coast, I get like weird, like, "Come on, motherfucker!" Like I always feel like I'm stuck in traffic.
Me too. I remember I went out there with two of my buddies, and I was probably like 21 or 22, and we thought it was funny to go out there and rent like a big gas guzzling expedition or SUV of some kind. And then we got a whole we went to this place called Bridgeport Brewery in Portland, Oregon. And then we got like a big keg, and man, we drove across to Canada, dude, and we didn't even have passports. Those were the days when they just took your ID. God.
We used to do that.
I know, but I remember being in this bar, and the girl the bartender was obviously very upset with us, and we were just going nuts. Yeah, we're blah 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 blah. We were so excited, and we were totally out of place, dude. Everybody was chill, relaxed. Everybody's calm.
One of the funniest things was when a West Coast Proud Boy came to the New York thing in front of a big event. We were having like a big party, and we were all, hanging out with the guy and, not really paying him much attention. And we actually caught him on the phone complaining to one of his guys in LA going, "Man, I don't get with these New York Proud Boys. All they do is drink and yell at each other." And I'm like, yeah, we started it.
It's fun.
Yeah, but he was like shocked, like, "What are they doing? They're so loud." And I was like, "Is this dude sure he's a Proud Boy? Like, this is all we do is go, come here. Oh, look at this guy's fucking dumb haircut. Come over here. Oh my God, get him a fucking beer. He looks like a douchebag." Like, that's all we do all day. And I was so surprised that it's like, oh, every Proud Boy chapter isn't like this? Oh, they're all kind of fucking different. That's weird.
What is it? What does it even mean to be a hippie? And what's a definition of hippie to you?
Counterculture tendencies.
Lack of bathing.
Enjoyment of. That's just kind of a symptom of the lifestyle. It kind of kills a lot of the motivation.
Yeah.
When you have nowhere to be, no one to meet. Throughout that day, or keep to a schedule, just wandering around the woods, like massive gatherings and shit.
How many pairs of hemp pants do you own?
0.
Oh, okay. You're getting better. You're getting better.
That's expensive these days.
If you can't smoke your pants, then I think you're on the right track.
Now, hippiedom comes with smoking weed.
Having pants at all is a step up, but
yeah. Did you grow up loving the Cheech and Chong movies? No.
Man, well, I didn't really start smoking and being a stoner and stuff until after high school.
Does being a stoner kind of go hand in hand with being a hippie?
Yeah.
Is there a sober hippie?
Yeah.
Is there such thing as a sober
What's
hippie?
that?
I don't know. Never heard. Is there such thing as a sober hippie?
A sober hippie?
You ever met one?
Yes.
Because I know punk has
I
like
mean,
the
are we
straight
counting
edge.
like windows of time or like one's always and forever sober?
Windows of time, like
because the first
when
one,
you
yeah,
wake up.
you can definitely find a sober hippie, but maybe not like a sober hippie. Like,
Yeah.
Now, I know Occupy Wall Street, that happened in a lot of different cities. And I was actually living in New York City and working on Wall Street when Occupy Wall Street started. And I remember walking over people and seeing Zuccotti Park, all the crazy shit that was going on, and then running through people's like arms. Everybody had their arms locked across the street, trying not to let any of the workers to go to work. And I don't know, man. I never had the thought ever of quitting my job and joining the protest. No. So I don't know, Paul. Do you remember? Occupy when it happened?
I do, because a lot of my friends were really into it. I was doing a lot of New York theater stuff at the time, so I would see on like social media, maybe even in like MySpace days, like girls who I hung out with holding like "We're the 99%" and like all these fucking signs and shit, and I was like, huh. But it didn't make me. All I kept doing every time I looked at it was I was like, these look like a bunch of fucking losers. Like I didn't think to myself like, oh, I'm so jealous. Like, oh, look at them. They're having such a great time. They just look like miserable people who were screaming into the sky.
But calm down. I mean, we're dealing with somebody who is part of the Occupy movement.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm well aware.
That's where Occupy is what took me into the hippie lifestyle, really, because like a lot of hippies, Rainbow Family, what do you call them? Gypsies, which apparently is like a pejorative. Don't ever call somebody a gypsy from like an Eastern European country. That's like
I once got yelled at by an Australian girl because I said abo on accident. I thought that was just the name. And I was like, abo. And she got so mad. She was a lot of woman, too. She was a good 300-pounder. And I said something about blah, blah, blah. And how do you treat the abos? And she was like, mate, it's Aboriginal naturalized people or something. And I was like, what? Abos? And she was just like, you are not to ever say abo. And I'm like, hey, don't get mad at me for something horrible your ancestors did. I've never even been to Australia. Like, you did something. You can't kick a guy in the face. And then I go, oh my God, look at that guy. And you go, don't say that about him. And it's like, you did it. Like, I was all the way over here.
How the hell did we get into that?
We talked about gypsies and how you can't say gypsies.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh my God,
I'm glad I wasn't the only one that lost track of
everybody
it.
but me. Gypsies or jippos, as I call them, and
Jippos.
The Romani people is what they're referred to as.
Yes.
Yeah.
So.
Wait, dogs out, go. Sorry.
We lost a hippie.
It's hard to keep hippies on track.
Just put his picture up every time he gets up. It'd be like, if you've seen this hippie, please return to the Bobby Pickles podcast.
Dude, I want to talk about Occupy though, man. Did you sit down and occupy? Did you occupy?
If you've seen this hippie, please.
Did you sit down and occupy for days on end in a tent in the middle of a city?
Yeah, so
smelling your balls.
So I went down on the day that launched in Oakland, and I was working at the time. Like I was doing like face-to-face sales in retail stores and shit, like direct TV shit. And
I've had shitty sales job as well.
going with that?
And so is Paul. Please,
I have.
maintain.
I've done everything.
Maintain the storyline. Let's go.
Okay.
How do you jumpstart a hippie?
Well, everything.
Clear.
Everything.
Weed. Look, I'm smoking weed too.
Everything happens for a reason, and like even that shitty sales job, actually like got me ready for the road, because the way I would fill up my gas tank is you go up to a motherfucker while they're filling it up with an empty jug, like, "Excuse me, brother, hate to bother you, but me and my merry band of misfits over yonder, we're amidst one of those epic cross-country adventures. I don't know if you know the difference between a vacation and an adventure, but with an adventure, you don't always necessarily have the funds or resources to get to where you're going. So, wondering if you could spare a splash of gas to help get me down the road, and in exchange for it, I'll be clean or dirty." I would have never been able to approach people like that had not been for that sales job.
Dude, that's a sales job right there. That was your sales job?
I would have been so mad if you came up to me. I would.
No. My sales job prepared me for that shit.
Oh yeah, of course it does.
I would have been so upset if some guy came up like, "Do you know the difference between a vacation and adventure?" I'm like, "Oh, shut up!" Like at the end of this, I'm going to be spending money, aren't I? The bottom line of all this always ends with something I got to do. I can't stand it when anyone wants me to move, paint, or buy anything.
Listen, that sounds really like a fun lifestyle, though, man. How long did you live like that, where you had that free lifestyle where you didn't really work, you would just kind of hustle and drive around and whatever? You said 6 years, is that right, or did you?
Yeah, about 6 years.
6 years, you like that's how you survived. You didn't really work any real day-to-day jobs or anything like that.
I mean, we would have people, sometimes offer us, come do some work, and we'll shack you up, let you shower, this, that, and the other, and was work along the way. Did a bit of farm work in the right seasons in California, but yeah, when I was on the road, when I would usually fly a sign, because unfortunately you make better money flying a sign at the end of the exit ramp than you do actually playing an instrument or something like that.
That's
on
right.
The
you said you said you were a busker. What kind of busking do you do? You sing and play guitar?
Drums.
How many roads must a man walk down?
Do you have some drums?
Before you could call him?
Oh yeah.
I figure we do a hippie standard. No, go on, Bobby.
Do you have some drums with you? Do you have your if there's a drum circle outside right now, could you go join the drum circle? You got them in there somewhere, right? Dude, play us something, bro.
He has a drum at the ready? I don't know if you're totally cured, bro.
Dude, I got.
What do you got?
Oh no, definitely not. I mean, it's like ideologically HIV. Learn to live with it, but there's no cure. Well, there might be, but all right. Can you hear it all right?
Yep. Oh, I hear it.
All right.
Is that a kettle drum? What is that?
Yeah.
This is a Lotus Drum.
Oh, well, I'm sorry.
I don't know if you can see it.
I can move it the other way to your right. There you go. Yeah, we can see it.
How many different drums do you have?
It's I got this. I got 2 djembes. I got a drum kit.
You play in bands and stuff?
Man, the world needs more head and shoulders, because especially the world of music, because musicians are the flakiest fucking people I've ever
shit.
stumbled across in my life.
Oh yeah, that's true. I mean, all
With the
artists.
obvious
Yes,
exception of
unfortunately.
Michael Graves, Radio Deadly every Thursday, Censored.tv.
You know,
Yeah,
I was hoping to jam with him because he was passing through Utah a while back, and
with
I guess
Michael, he
got
would
caught up
probably
in
fucking
Colorado
do
or
it.
something.
He would probably do it. He's all about that, man. He's great with the
Michael,
people.
come to Utah and jam.
So let me ask the question on everybody's mind. You getting Mormon pussy out in Utah? Because I'm very curious about that Mormon pussy.
Oh shit!
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Oh shit! Phone down. Phone down. That didn't just happen.
That is awesome.
Yeah, but you gotta take their sisters and stuff too. And I'm just
That sounds that's about fine by me. I think I do very well in Utah. Very well.
So you were from Colorado originally, or Utah?
Well, Colorado, Utah.
Colorado, Utah.
grew up Colorado.
Oh, I thought you meant there was a city in Utah called
Graduated
Colorado,
out of
Utah.
Utah.
Graduated out of Utah. Nice.
Yeah, just like junior, senior year. Then like, like fuck this place. Went to California and
Yeah, is that the place is that the place where people go, like on this side, I think more on the East Coast, people go to New York. People go to San Francisco or LA, I guess.
I've given literally hundreds of people rides over the years, and the ratio of people who are in it for the long haul that are going from middle of the country or the east, to the West Coast, at least like 3 or 4 to 1, because they have the California and Oregon are on 2 different databases for food stamps. So you can, like they go there and like get food stamps in both states and double up on it. Shit. It seemed justifiable at the time because I'm like, yeah, I'm sticking it to the man, I'm sticking it, bringing down the system, and then I learned later that every one of those EBT cards is attached to like a JP Morgan Chase account.
Mm-hmm.
If you know about fractional reserve lending and all that shit,
So it ends up just helping them. It ends up just helping them anyway, or something like that. Like what you're trying to the system you're trying to fight, you're actually helping.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, and like I feel like that might have been like. So I always associated the left with being like that, fuck the New World Order, calling out the obvious conspiracies and stuff that do occur in the world. And I feel like they just got ahead of the narrative because they knew it was coming and kind of caught the right with their pants down and like instilled with an entire generation the subconscious notion that the more just and moral side of the political aisle is associated with the left. When, I don't know.
Yeah, the left feels like they have a monopoly on.
Like,
no, dude, your analysis is correct. Please keep going with your analysis. Your analysis is correct, man, and I think it's very interesting for you to express yourself about what you're going through at the time and how you're analyzing the world and how you were analyzing the left and the right and stuff. And you were thinking you were in this hippie paradigm, man, and then somehow you got red pilled out of that shit.
Was there a moment
from busking, from traveling around in a hippie bus, and you said you were preaching Marxism? Is that right? How are you doing that? You weren't doing it on street corners or anything like that. It was just people that you met.
Oh no, not literal
Who was
preaching, but,
who
like,
was this band?
you know,
Of,
I would.
you just said this band of merry pranksters that you hung out with. Tell me about those people.
Merry Misfits.
Merry Misfits. Was there a group of people that you were hanging around all the time, kind of like the Proud Boys? But was there a group of hippies?
Whoever was in the vehicle you're traveling with, and that's what's really interesting out there. Like bonds are developed really quickly and fade away like instantaneously, because like you'll meet a motherfucker and you'll go from like, hey, I never met you before, like introducing names, to spending 24/7 around them, knowing that you're in a more secure place and have a better chance of, you know, shit going good, I guess. Shit, where are we going with that?
No, I know what you're talking about, dude. I know what you're talking about. Like when you're in those when you're in those places where you form those relationships that fast, that fleeting, it's all based on nothing, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's based on what? Like doing drugs and fucking empty bullshit, right? Sex and emptiness.
It almost feels like a pretense.
In that lifestyle, like the way we're traveling, you know, hippie vehicles, like it's really not. It's more about the freedom than it is about the, you know, drugs and shit. You know, they just happen to be there. You know, like littered through, you know, across the trail the entire way.
When you say freedom, what do you mean by freedom?
It's just another word for nothing left to lose.
Like not the freedom to not to like work, not to do like just get up, go to the beach, smoke some weed, fucking do whatever you want, you know.
Yeah.
That.
Mm-hmm. That's the difference between homeless and home free.
Now, were you homeless at all?
Home free.
I was home free most of the time. There were little windows, like, you know, where I tried to get back, you know, into working and stuff like that. But then, like, somebody that I, you know, had a solid connection with at some point throughout the last year or whatever travels, would still be on the road and like happen to be passing through, you know, wherever I'm anchored down. And it's really easy. It's still kind of tempting. like every now and then I'll see a fucking, you know, not a home bum, but like, you know, like if you see a pack and a dog, like they're usually there by choice, and it's, you know, enjoying it. And
yeah, they're doing it they're doing it by choice or whatever. Like they're not like a traditional homeless person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you ever confronted by John Travolta in a diner who said, "What the fuck you mean walk the earth?"
That's some pseudo intellectual reference.
No, that's from Pulp Fiction when he's like, "I'm just gonna walk the earth."
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm just gonna get into adventures. Be with me.
Okay.
What the fuck you mean, Jules? Walk the earth.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You're talking about being a fucking bum, Jules. It's called a fucking bum. You have no job and no legal tenure. You're a fucking bum.
I forgot about that scene.
No,
about that line.
So anyway,
I think I might have to watch that tonight.
Bobby,
wow, we did get off topic, didn't we?
What topic?
Define Mormon, though, because I mean, if you grew up in Utah, there's a good chance like you were raised Mormon. By that, you know, it doesn't mean you're active Mormon. So like,
so you were
Mormon
raised
by birth or Mormon by belief.
So you know a lot of people like that were like totally, you know, normal people, whatever, Mormons. And
was that something that turned you on to the hippie stuff? Like you were surrounded by like super religious people and stuff like that?
It drove me to the hippie stuff because, like,
I could see that.
You know, the super, the upbringing. I don't know. How did they put in SLC punk? Like something about, I I can't remember. You
Haven't seen that
hopefully
movie in a
y'all know the
long
That
fucking.
sounds-
That's a good movie.
Yeah, SLC Punk. That's a good movie. Yeah, definitely.
But it must be great. Religious
Yeah.
girls are the best. They think they're blowing it with God. They're so repressed. And you're just like, fuck it. We already did something wrong. Let's do it right. And they're just going at it, crying a little. Oh,
It's kind of like
Beautiful.
Catholic girls. Same thing.
Catholic girls, same type of shit. But most Catholic girls aren't religious, is the thing. Mormons, for some reason, hold on to that shit real tight.
Yeah.
It's a revolving door with Mormons. Like there's a lot of people that were raised with it and then go away from it or call it bullshit or whatever. And then there's at the same time the highest missionary conversion rates of like any religion.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
I think.
What was?
And I like to think that now, talking politics, everybody and red pilling people along the way. I had 11 people on Facebook that I met on the road, super leftists and stuff, that hit me up over the last like 4 years saying, "Hey, dude, like I think you might, like, tell me more about this," and like that were eventually like red pilled. Like 11 people hit me up on Facebook.
What was
that.
your?
So I like to think,
moment that
mom always wanted me to go on a mission. So
yeah. What did you have like a moment where you realized like, oh man, the political end of what I'm talking about is kind of bullshit, and maybe was there one singular thing or was it like a gradual thing with you?
It was like a triggering moment when God damn it, I hate fucking use that word. They fucking ruined any proper context for that word.
Listen, don't get triggered by you yourself.
By the word trigger.
Saying triggered. But did Donald Trump trigger you? Because he triggered me. Donald Trump made me red pilled. Really. I was like, holy shit, this guy's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
He thinks just like me. Wow. Right?
So I was one of the first people on the streets of Oakland protesting against Trump.
Really?
And I went back out for like 3 or 4 nights, running first aid for tear gas and stuff like that, which I've been doing for, pretty much since I learned how to treat tear gas at Occupy and did all throughout BLM and stuff. And one of those nights this dude and I went to get a beer at the bar when everything had like settled down, and I went to pay for it. He's like, no, this one's on me. Yeah. And like he said, like I'm getting paid like for being here tonight. And I hadn't thoroughly really looked into like Soros and stuff like that. But that is that the triggering moment. That plus the buddy that I met this motherfucker doing fucking tarot cards in a world rainbow gathering in Palenque, Mexico.
That sentence
On
normally
December
doesn't end
21st, 2012.
Yeah.
On December 21st, 2012. I don't know if y'all noticed.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so, yeah. We're at the Mayan ruins down there in Palenque on December 21st, 2012. Yeah, I don't know if you guys noticed, but the world did not end.
I had a party about it, yes.
No,
I called it the last party on Earth. We had bands. It was great. We lived.
nice.
It all worked
Anyways,
out.
that's where I met this motherfucker, and I was live streaming, the shit going on in Oakland, the nights following the election, and my buddy was commenting on there, like, ask everybody, how they feel about, Hillary, or if they'd be out. And I had just kind of been going along with the assumption that everybody out there would have been out there just as hard for Hillary, until my buddy twisted my arm to like actually ask people, and that kind of like,
She had almost as few people as Biden
in their right mind can.
Wait. So what was the response of the people? What was the response?
No, like didn't really seem like they would have been. They kind of hesitated and thought about it. A few of them, and I mean, a good amount of them were like adamantly opposed to that notion. Yeah, I don't know. I always had the assumption that everybody again was on the same page of anti-New World Order type shit, and only to find out that they're kind of being led on.
Isn't it weird that people who consider themselves counterculture now all are raging for the machine? Like every last one of them is like, I want more government. We need more laws. And my philosophy is anytime I hear there ought to be a law, I think there probably shouldn't be. But all these people are like, we need another law against this. Oh, people said this and somebody's feelings got hurt. And doesn't that, because, again, I come from punk rock, a lot of liberal people in punk rock and shit like that. Doesn't that fuck you up a little bit when you're like, guys, you realize like a vote for Hillary means that you're going to have less control of your life, less money for yourself and all that other fucking good shit, less freedom and individuality.
Yeah, I had the same kind of thing, but it was with a punk rock fest that I was at. I wasn't at a hippie fest, although I did go to a hippie fest once. And then there was this dude named, what was his name? Father Woodstock or Grandfather Woodstock or something weird. What was his name? What was that guy's name? That guy, I think he's like famous in the hippie community. He's always all over the different place.
I think I know who you're talking about.
You know who I'm talking about.
You probably rode in your van.
Yeah,
he had a robe on.
I don't think that.
Never trust a guy in a robe.
The name rings a bell. I think he was like one of the people that were at like the first Rainbow Gathering in '70 whatever.
Yeah, is being a hippie just being part of a scene, kind of like there's like some similarities by being part of groups, right? Is there any similarities with, this scene and that scene?
Yeah. Okay. So better comparison is like, okay, if you've been active in, local politics and rallies and stuff like that, the past year or two, or more, then you've seen the diversity of the range of diversity of people who would come together on that common ground. It's kind of the same thing like with hippies, except removed responsibility.
Okay, I could see that for sure.
What is the driving why do you want no responsibility? What is that? And like, what kind of and so when these people that are driven to this kind of lifestyle, you said they're not really loyal people, right? They'll sell you out in a second. I mean, the relationships are
not necessarily.
Not necessarily. I would think that I would think that because of how you said before, how like relationships start really fast and they could just end really fast too.
See, that was one of the advantages of, having the vehicle. My yellow lab at the time was, I think it was 10 or 11 when I first took the road. So
you broke up a little bit there. You had a 10.
I enjoy hitchhiking and stuff, but it wouldn't be fair to him.
You had a yellow lab that you had along with you. That's cool.
Yeah, he was arthritic, so the entire time I was traveling, I was fortunate enough to have my own vehicle. And when you're giving people a ride, and there's a whole bunch of new people that they're just meeting for the first time, when they hop on, it's not always necessarily like it's.
Dude,
honesty through paranoia.
I had an arthritic dog as well. I did.
Yeah, but as far as people selling each other out, as far as people selling each other out and stuff like there's a, I don't know. you definitely do. You meet the best, most open-hearted, open-minded motherfuckers you'll ever meet, and then yeah, you'll come across like the shittiest little scumbags that'll like take everything that you own.
Did you
Yeah.
lose a
But,
lot of friends when you went into the MAGA thing? Did like a lot of people you knew from before decide they didn't want to hang around you anymore?
a lot.
Tell us about it.
My Facebook friend list at the time was sitting around like 1,400, and back then it was very rare that I would just like accept friend send friend requests to people I didn't know and stuff. Like most of those people I had met at some point along my travels, and within about 6 or 7 months of even just throwing out the possibility, like, hey, like, what if he's like, like, why are all of the shittiest, most depraved, corrupt, immoral motherfuckers on the planet, who people left, right, and center will agree, the world would be better off without a lot of these people, Rockefellers, Rothschild, Bushes, Clintons, Soros, Saudi royalty, the ones that got, that plus the entire, nearly all of the mainstream media press coverage, as well as Hollywood. It's like take the worst people that you just from all of those industries, and like even the ones that used to disagree, all of a sudden they're suddenly coming together to unite. And like, so one of two things happened when Trump ran for president. Either all the worst people on the planet all suddenly had a crisis of conscience and decided to unite together to fight the greater evil that is Donald Trump, or the motherfucker might have just been posing a threat to what they've been building towards for the past,
Dun dun dun.
for certain 80 plus years. Yeah, the enemy of my enemy is my ally, and so I started digging into that, and the whole Pedogate thing had a huge impact on it. That's when I really started like doing my own research. Yeah.
So this wasn't until so you were still a dirty hippie until into 2016, into Trump's presidency. When did you start the switch of thinking like MAGA?
Washing your balls from time to time.
Yeah.
About the,
what year? What year was it? What year was it?
Left for Colorado, 2017.
2017, cool.
It was like right after the election.
Right after the election, all right, yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I was one of the first motherfuckers protesting against him.
I know.
I remember sitting up on, what was the name of it? That lookout between Berkeley and Oakland, Fish Ranch Road, looking out over the bay on election night, thinking for certain that like Clinton was going to win, just because like it made sense if you followed families and patterns and shit.
Everybody thought that. Everybody just
and yeah, when I heard Trump won and stuff, I'm like, I looked at the chick that I was with, and I'm like, we got to get to downtown now, because like, okay, so I've been just like more riots and protests out of hand than I can count over the years. I've never personally rioted or looted or committed any sort of crime which leaves a victim. I'd even go, help stand in front of like local shops and stuff and be like, hey, there's a Wells Fargo over there, go smash that. And then of course, there to document mostly the ground until, the cops were getting violent, and then I throw it out like, God, I fucking hate what I was sometimes. Just,
yeah, I feel you, man.
But it's a rush. It's a rush. And if you've never been in, just like a solid, protest gets escalated into a full-on riot and stuff. I'm not saying support it. I'm not saying necessarily do it, but like everybody should experienced it once.
Now, you said that you were into BLM
because-
and stuff, right?
Mhm.
And that started
Yep.
in about when? What year did that start?
I think around 2016 or 2017.
I wanna say-
no?
2015, right?
may have been even earlier.
I want to say 14, or probably like 15.
Is that when
it
you
started
started?
with Michael Brown?
Is that when you started getting into that?
Yeah. Occupy would have Black Bloc come, but like a lot of the occupiers were a lot more vocal about the fact that if we want to do this peacefully, then like you're delegitimizing everything that we're claiming to stand for and shit like that. And I feel like people would get driven out a lot, or it would just be over the fucking bullshit and the endless, general assemblies and shit. And I feel like BLM is just like the evolution of that same movement. It's like the Mujahideen into the
Right.
Taliban, Al Qaeda, like to ISIS. The same type of thing, but like shit.
Wow. I when I was living in New York, man, I knew this dude named Jerry Ashton, and he took me to an anarchist, no, not an anarchist, because that would be, but no, it was like a Marxist, like leftist, crazy meeting in New York City, and it was so nuts. Like I didn't really know what was even going on. I guess he was trying to get me into it. He thought that I'd be as an impressionable person or something, and dude, I could have totally went down that road for real. I was living right there too when that was all going on, man. I could have totally gone down that road, but I didn't. I wasn't even thinking about it.
Well, we all could have, but I think like natural curiosity and like I knew a lot about Cuba for some reason. So I knew how terrible Cuba was and how the Cuban people, when they get here, they were so grateful to be here and everything like that. And then I would see like a Michael Moore movie when he's like, Fidel Castro is really not that bad. And it's like, are you out of your fucking mind? Have you ever seen a raft going from Miami to Havana? Like, it's never happened once. Like, these people are trying to escape an evil authoritarian dictator. And these people are like, the world would be a lot better if Cuba was in charge. It's like,
dude, wouldn't that be such a funny like skit though? And you had a bunch of Florida idiots just fuck this place, and then they go down like to the Keys and launch off on a raft. And
Yeah.
let's go to Cuba.
Yeah. No matter how bad and oppressive they think capitalism is, they never seem to want to leave it. They don't want to be in a place with no iPhones. They don't want to be in a place where they can't go to Starbucks. And that's the thing. And keep in mind, when you question about Cuba, it's always our fault. It's always, well, America fucked Cuba up. So the pivot that I've seen in the left as well is anytime you say, but what about this? And what about that? They go, if America didn't do this, or if America, and it's like, Jesus Christ, is there anything we ever did right, being that we're the most benevolent country that's ever been on earth? And to me, it's such a huge intellectual turnoff when I see people who basically just follow Marxist talking points and don't give it up and just go like, nope, Marxism would be great. Oh, it's never been done right. And I'm like, well, is it possible that it has been done right, but it somehow always gets to a point where everything gets fucked up? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think you did.
Yeah, but if you rob students of the knowledge of history of the things that led to that, like all the sides of it, if you oh man, sorry, I'm fucking tired from work.
You work? Oh, that's
what were we just talking about? Help me out here.
We're talking about
I'm
Marxism,
working
Cuba,
50 hours a
arguing with
week.
liberals, Mormon pussy. We could always pivot back to
Oh, yeah.
that. I'm all for it.
No, man, I know exactly how it is. I get like that too, man. When it's too, I know exactly how you feel, man. Next time, let me know. If you're really tired, we could always reschedule it,
What's it like? I've never been tired.
Oh, no. You're good. That was a little bit, little bit of stage fright.
You
type
see, this is
shit,
what
yeah.
happens when East Coast meets fucking West Coast. I talk too fast. If I throw out 3 topics, I just blew his mind. I'm like,
he's stuck on one. He's like thinking
Slow
of the
down, man.
thinking of the philosophical, like, you know, he's like taking all that in and like putting it all together and stuff, and then you hit him with 3 fucking things, dude, and he's just still processing the one thing.
do what I do. If all else fails, just shout out, fuck those people.
Yeah, fuck those people.
Fuck those people.
See,
Like, there's a guy at my
I like
yogurt
this,
stand. He forgot to put the toppings on. Fuck those people.
When did you become a proud boy?
Okay,
tell me about at least becoming a proud boy from all that stuff. What were the circumstances surrounding you becoming a proud boy, you know, and exiting that whole thought process of being a hippie?
Who let you in? Name names.
Yeah. Are you still a hippie? Do you still identify as a hippie? Yes, you do. But do you still identify as with all the same philosophical hippie things that all your former brethren used to believe?
No, like I not even all like former brethren. Like I still got brothers that are able to have a conversation that are, you know, pretty far left. They're few and far between, but you know.
And then, are you in your hippie circles?
Yeah,
would you be in your hippie circles telling these people like fucking Trump is awesome?
Once I came out of the closet with it.
Congratulations.
Yeah, no.
So there was a time where you're
it took me a while to come out of the closet. I don't know if you can tell, but I recently underwent a pretty major transition.
Yes.
It took me a while to come out of the closet. But yeah, I'm a conservative.
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah,
but that's the thing. I mean, conservative has like this weird negative connotation, because I once heard a quote that went something like, conservatives are really bad at selling good ideas and liberals are really good at selling bad ideas. That's why branding like Black Lives Matter and Antifa and you're a Nazi, things like that, we all sort of agree with. We don't like Nazis. We all agree with, do Black Lives Matter? Well, yeah, technically, in a technical sense, I agree with that term. But when you go, but there's also white lives, Asian lives, Latino lives, straight lives, gay lives, whatever. They're all important. That's the thing that, like, you know, it's their part of their branding. We're just anti-fascist protesters. Do you like fascism? I'm just like, well, here's the thing. I've met some mentally ill people in my life. I've never met one person who went, you know what's a great idea? Fascism. Fascism just rules. Like, I've never met that dude. So their branding makes it like everybody else is oppressive and everybody else is evil, when the fact of the matter is conservatism really is the art of, or the philosophy of, individual thought and individuality. And a lot of Christians and a lot of very, you know, people who might have more of an uptight lifestyle gravitate towards that. But in my mind, I'm like, well, that's also my people. Like, that's also what I want. I want to behave the way I want and live and let live and, you know, whatever. That's really all I fucking believe. And at this point in time, it's like the left doesn't just tell you what to say, they tell you what to believe. They tell you what you ought to be saying, and if you don't repeat after us, you're an asshole, and we're going to take everything from your life. You know?
Yeah.
And that's why I'm
fuck like, that guy.
You know, looking back, kind of grateful of all the years of Marxism and stuff, all the Marxist programming and stuff. It's like, you know, even though it's been like 4 or 5 years since I've, you know, subscribed to a lot of those views, it's like in that entire time, I don't think I've heard a single updated, accurate argument. You know, that I wasn't, you know, preaching at one point or so. Yeah, I mean, if you know the enemy's playbook.
Yeah, they never seem to have a good counter argument once you figure out their bullshit.
That's about all I have to say about that.
Yeah.
Wow. So what has that been?
Yeah.
What is that like being somebody who knows your enemy very well now that you're on, like, now that you're a conservative and stuff and you know how they think? Does that help you at all to red pill others?
It's
Do you have the power
Unless
and you're
you're,
not
like,
using it properly?
at the unless you're like actively teeping it up on the streets, or like, attacking individuals and shit like that. If it's all like, armchair philosopher, or armchair activist, I mean, type shit, ideological and stuff, like, I don't even necessarily always see them as my enemy, but like as,
A friend you haven't met yet.
I don't know, the whole like lost soul thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I just had
them,
that
Father,
written on the door of the bus.
Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do.
From the mouth of babes.
Yeah, that's what I always say.
Yeah.
Is that your quote? Did you just make that up, Poppy?
No, that's what Jesus said, like, at the end, like, when he's up on the cross and stuff.
I like his early work. I think his later work got a little derivative.
Yeah, he's like, forgive them, Father, they know not what they do. They're like they're crucifying me and stuff. It's all good. Their
first couple albums.
They're retards. These people are retards. I think that really, when it comes down to it, the people they don't have. Gavin said a thing before. I've heard him say, he doesn't really believe in an argument. It's just two people that, one person has more information than the other. Like, that's what an argument or a discussion like really is and stuff. And so it's just who has the most information,
Not
and
the hippies.
These people don't. Yeah. They don't really have all the information. Maybe is that
right.
part of it? They really just don't.
Yeah. I mean, I can't tell you how many, like,
is it the fucking blind
articles
leading
that
the blind?
paint a different narrative.
Is it the blind leading the blind?
Yeah, pretty much. And not only that, but like, somebody comes up with a candle and, like, your pupils are all dilated because you're fucking blind and it's dark and shit like that. Somebody comes up with a candle, they just blow it out. Don't even give it a fucking chance.
Blow that sucker.
I just thought, yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I've noticed that a lot of the people on the left, where they're coming from, seems to be they just want to be the good people. They're like, I want to be good. And like you were saying, how you'd make a friend on the road and be like instant besties and then never talk to him again. To me, there's a lot of like pretense where it's this thing like, you feel like I have to act this way. We have to act like we're closer than brothers. And Antifa, I've seen do the same fucking shit where they act like, yes, we're a brotherhood. We're all here. We're doing this. And it's like, it didn't start with, let me throw a brick through a window. It started with, I want to be a good person. And I was told that these people are the bad people trying to oppress gays and blacks and this, and I'm going to prove I'm a good person. And before they know it, they're holding a brick or they're smashing somebody over the head with a bike lock. And in their mind, they're confused. Like, why are people judging me for this? All I did was beat a Nazi up. All I did was smash capitalism. And it's this fucked up thing because it really is like Scientology or some shit. And I even say when Antifa people talk to me, they have the Scientology face. They have the eyes like, hey man, what are you doing here? And it's like, dude, you're not blowing my mind because you exist. I've dealt with people like you my entire life.
Yeah.
Also known as meth eyes.
I fucking hate that guy.
I fucking hate that guy. Yes, the Scientology Antifa guy. Hey, brother, you want to smash the fash with me? It's like, oh, son of a bitch. Matter of fact, the only other place I've ever seen it, that weird cult face, is the alt-right. Which I say all the time, like, the only place where guys like stare at me and want to shake my hand extra firm and are like, hey, brother, you down? Or like when weird alt-right guys who are about to talk about Hitler come up to me and I'm just like, oh, son of a bitch. Or when an Antifa guy comes up to me and they're just like, so what are you doing here? Why do you want to be so fascist? And I'm like, oh man. But it starts with like this notion of like, they didn't like their religion growing up, or they didn't like their dad growing up, or they didn't like something about their family, their parents got divorced or something. And it ends with them literally going out into the streets being like, well, that means I could hurt that old lady because she's just, it's just a consequence. Because you have to also keep in mind in Marxism, people are just ones and zeros. Every person is interchangeable or supposed to be, which means that like there's no extra courtesy extended to an old lady because if she's not marching with us, she's just another person we got to take out. She's in our way. And they don't have that heart. And it seems very phony to me. It seems very like they're putting on a show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think you do.
Yeah. It's like I said, if you've never been to like a big rally or, especially like the more like this, if you're able to recognize it and like to a degree remove yourself from it, like the groupthink mob mentality, like
self-awareness.
Yeah. Like I think there okay, so this is where I definitely still am a hippie. There's like straight up like fucking like the whole vibrations thing, man. Like there's truth to that shit, and you can literally feel shit in the air.
You can, yeah, that's true. I know that's true.
That's true. The cusp between a peaceful protest and a violent riot, which used to be really more successful in keeping it peaceful, because the people who were there to smash stuff were generally like dressed in all black and covering their face with a mask. It's kind of that's some timing we had. All of a sudden, everybody in society out in public is supposed to be covering their face right before the largest string of mass protest, violent mass riots this country has ever seen. Oh, and by the way, we're going to release all the violent criminals like right beforehand.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know how people can see that shit and not like
if they prosecute them at all. There's so many cases. And by the way, another hippie that we know is Max Hare. When I first met him, he had long hair. He's wearing Grateful Dead tie-dye t-shirts. And he's still super into that as far as I know. And so he's one of those people.
Dude, a lot of old deadheads are Trump guys.
Yeah, you'd be surprised how many, especially because when you have something to lose, suddenly you go, oh, and that's why it's like Marxism and socialism only works on desperate people. It only works with people who think they can never achieve any more than what they've achieved, so they want somebody else's shit because they feel like they'll be doing a little better in life. It never works on people who are like, hold on, I'm a self-made man. I could figure this out on my own. I don't need the government to step in and help me. I don't need the state. I don't want your money. I have my own money. Those people are the guys, once they've earned something and realized what they know their potential is and what they could achieve, suddenly all that fucking hippie shit, not hippie shit like energy, but like all the Marxist shit and all the like stuff that doesn't matter floats away. And they're like, hold on, I'm already paying 50% in taxes. You want to raise those? And practical questions. To me, that's the best way to red pill people, with practicality, with saying, really, do you want somebody telling you what you could say? Do you want, how are you paying your taxes? Do you want more of those taxes taken out? Don't taxes kill you? And it's like, I've had that conversation actually with a lot of very hood black dudes who have jobs. And the second they start talking Democrat, I'm like, oh, how do you like your taxes? And they're just like, dude, they're killing me. I'm like, I know, right? Well, you know who's going to kill you even more? Biden. He wants those taxes.
Did you ever spend any time in Florida when you were off gallivanting all around the country?
Yeah, 2 of the laps coast to coast I did the end of Ocala.
Ocala?
Where there's a regional family or a rainbow family gathering out there.
Yeah, that's right. There is. That's the one that I went to. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, the Ocala Forest.
Oh, nice. What year?
That's what I'm talking about. Where that guy, Mr. Woodstock or whatever, was there. That fucking guy.
Yeah. What year were you?
Yeah, that's probably where I met him. That's one of the bigger regional gatherings.
Yeah. No. Oh, you want to hear my hippie?
Okay, so my first rainbow gathering.
Can I tell my hippie story really quick? All right, so yeah, there's a rainbow gathering. Okay, it's me, my buddy Dave, his buddy, and I brought Enzo, my dog Enzo, because Enzo really was a dog. My Fat Enzo, my business is named after my dog, which was a real dog. And the logo, you see the logo down here, down on his. It's him pooping out a microphone. That was taken from a real picture of him pooping.
Oh yeah.
Out of microphone?
No, I interchange it. I interchange it for different stuff. So for the t-shirts, it's t-shits, okay, and then the R is silent.
T-shits.
And for the hats, it's shats. I put a hat there. And for the microphone, I haven't thought of a witty thing for that, but I use it anyway. So Fat Enzo was with us too. We went to the rainbow gathering in the Gainesville forest. My buddy Dave said, "Let's go." We're all city slickers. We don't even know how to camp, and we brought a bunch of camping stuff that day and brought it with us. And it was so funny, man. We had all this beer with us, and then we really didn't even know what we were doing at all, man. We were scrambling to build a fire before the sun went down. And we ended up sleeping. I was sleeping with Enzo like this for body warmth. And man, they got mad at us. These hippies, they got mad at us because we were all crazy college kid type of people with beer, drinking and stuff. And then they were totally not even having that. They didn't want. I don't even think they had beer there. I don't even think they wanted beer. Is that correct? I mean, is beer frowned upon at these things?
Sometimes, from what I understand, it used to be more so, but I don't know. There's a lot of people who are, on the wagon and shit, and it's, I don't know, considered impolite, but at the same time, you're dealing with, when you're dealing with people train hoppers who are, with train hoppers, it's literally give you the shirt off my back, or give me everything in your pockets. There's no fucking middle ground with them. But
why is it impolite to drink beer?
I think it's impolite to not mind your fucking business at a campground.
Why is
I've never looked to see if
and that was the between that reason and the fact that if you use in a hippie circle, I hope you squirreled away if you for yourself, before you brought it over.
Everybody else is gonna want
and a hippie chick.
Everybody else is gonna want some of whatever you have.
It's just like David Lee Roth said.
Yeah.
Everybody wants some.
Goes around.
Yeah. But no, it was it wasn't
What's
the
the
vibe.
difference between a joint and a hippie chick?
What?
The joint doesn't make it all the way around the circle.
See, that's a good one.
Wow.
How can you tell a hippie just got laid?
Huh.
His fingers are clean.
Ew.
Oh, that's disgusting. Ew.
Yeah.
How can you tell a hippie chick's on her period?
How can you?
She's missing a dread.
You know what? The fucked up thing is, it sounds like there's a little bit of truth to all this.
What do hippie cigarettes, hippie coffee, and hippie women all have in common?
What's that? What?
That was the answer. Hippie cigarettes, hand-rolled, filterless usually. Hippie coffee, which is the same as cowboy coffee. And hippie women.
What did the black lesbian say to the white lesbian? You the man. What's the difference? No, I can't do these.
Now, what did your family think about you being a hippie?
Or a Proud Boy?
once I moved to California, and my parents kind of went on a don't ask, don't tell as far as my social life goes, because I had no more like I had no reason to lie to them, and I was enjoying California to say, and yeah. all man, all I had to do was bring up some profound psychedelic trip, something that actually has meaning. So I'm actually, like not just trolling or whatnot. And then, it became kind of a don't ask, don't tell with the, direct and extended family.
You have a bit of a McConaughey vibe to you. Has anyone ever told you that?
I get that.
People tell you have a McConaughey vibe. How many times have you hung outside a liquor store and
Johnny
kids
Depp
give you
shit.
money?
Dude, I've been okay. So this has happened to me once in Colorado, like right after I moved there. I was still staying out of my RV, and actually, shit, they didn't even see the art. Anyways, I was at this bar, and the owners of the bar, who were from Fremont, and moved the fuck out, got the fuck out, the biggest Trump supporters ever, hella cool motherfuckers. But one of the owners comes up and gives me $70, I'm assuming didn't say it like that, but I looked at him. I told him I actually just moved here. I have a 9 to 5. I don't need this. However, I only politely say twice. I only politely decline twice when it comes to free money. And she ended up insisting, and it was and no, I've been grocery shopping before, and have people come up and try to give me money.
Really? Why?
It's there's few and far between, but I mean, okay. So I found it happens most often. I'm wearing my tattered ass cargo shorts that I wore every fucking day on the road. And I don't know if I just dress like a hippie. Flip flops will do it too.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Oh my God! Now that's a great question.
I'm wondering if I didn't shower for a day or two.
Listen. One of our things in Proud Boys is not wearing flip flops. I mean, how did that kind of cramp your style?
It's been a rough adjustment.
What are you wearing?
It's been a rough adjustment. Well,
what do you got? Work boots. Oh my God. Oh, those are beautiful.
No, I got them from the surplus store.
So basically, you traded in your flip flops for work boots. That's fucking great antithesis right there.
Right there, that's an upgrade. If you got nothing else out of the Proud Boys,
I wouldn't say traded in.
Do you just keep them there under a glass case now, a relic from a former era?
I used to wear exclusively flip flops. There was actually an 8-month span of time where I went full on barefoot when I was down in Mexico and Guatemala, and then I learned that concrete pavement stuff like that, even when you clean it, spray it and stuff like that, that shit still absorbs so much of the garbage, shit.
What's the craziest strip club you've ever been to?
So I swore off that.
What's the craziest strip club you ever been to? You ever see a donkey show down in Mexico?
I don't go to many. No, strip clubs. I've never, really seen the appeal in paying for blue balls.
Yeah, you will get blue balls. I'll tell you that. Unless you pay a lot.
What is the craziest psychedelic you've ever done, or the craziest psychedelic experience you've ever had? You mentioned psychedelics earlier. I know that you must have had some crazy trips.
Oh yeah.
Did tripping lead to you becoming red pilled? I mean, to me, I think it had some profound effects on me.
Okay, so you're aware that during the MK Ultra research, the drug of choice for the CIA was LSD.
Yeah, $1.2 billion worth of it went missing.
which if it wasn't not for LSD being distributed across America by fucking Timothy Leary and shit like that, at that scale and stuff, right at the same time as like if it wasn't for acid, there would have been like the rock wouldn't have been what it ended up being. And where was I going with this? What was the question again?
Oh my God!
Craziest trip.
No. You're listen.
Craziest trip. Oh no. Psychedelics.
You're connecting the dots. You're connecting
into
the
the
dots.
left.
Yes, you're connecting the dots between all of the how psychedelics opens you up and red pills you. I mean, it's done it for me.
I've never tried.
What?
I've never had a beer.
Dude, I've done ayahuasca in Costa Rica.
I've never smoked weed. I've never fucking
nice
done anything. I just smoke fucking pipe tobacco, cigars, and coffee.
Yeah, listen, that's boring. Please be quiet.
Go on with your trip story.
Yes.
DMT. Never ayahuasca, unfortunately. Never made it that far south. But
you will.
Yeah. Probably DMT.
And you met Jesus and he turned into your mother and you started to cry.
Pretty close, actually.
Yeah. The kid gets one or two every now and then.
But it contributed to you.
So the thing,
being red pilled?
No, I would say the opposite, actually. Simply because, like, the same time that I, really started, having fun with psychedelics was the same time as I was first becoming politically active. It just, my politics and psychedelics both, kind of took root at the same time when I was living in the Bay Area.
In 2012.
And it's, that's why I believe that, like, the entire hippie acid wave movement was, pushed out there by the CIA, who had been co-opted, willing accomplices, which would be which is the name of an awesome book that everybody should read about KGB insertion and infiltration into the early 1900s in America.
Damn, what book is that?
Yeah, it's called Willing Accomplices.
Okay, what is it?
Who wrote it?
What's it about?
But it's about KGB infiltration and insertion of both willing and unwilling agents of Marxism, if you will, throughout media, entertainment, all that.
Why do you think they do that? Why do they lace and product place all this Marxist shit all throughout society? And then what happens is these people pick up on it and they think they're so smart. No, you're not smart. You're picking up product placed ads that are intertwined within society. It might be a word in a song that you picked up. You think you're so brilliant. No, you're a sheep who's brainwashed. Anyway, that's what happens all the time, man. And then it's like, for some reason, certain people have like a gut instinct or something. I don't know what it is. And you can just tell when you're being bullshitted. Either that or, I don't know, man. You're not, maybe you're not consuming the correct. Because they say that a lot. Like, a lot of these people I've noticed, a lot of lefties, especially reporters and journalists and stuff, they go, where do you get your news from? It's like, why do you want to know? What? Because you want to cancel them too? Or like, what, you want to try to figure out how to feed me the proper brainwashing, the proper propaganda? Why?
I always tell them I get my news from the same place you do. I just know how to read it. Like, I read CNN.
I like that.
I read BuzzFeed, but I know
like that.
I could tell what they're leaving out, and I could tell if they bury something 14 paragraphs into a thing that's vaguely important, which they do constantly. I could tell by their word choices what side they're on, but I could read the story and I could pick out facts and ignore the tone, which is something that they can't do. And then when we put tone into our shit, like on, let's say, Breitbart or Daily Caller or something like that, they'll say, oh, this is just propaganda. And it's like, well, what the fuck do you think you're doing?
Yeah. Nobody's writing and nobody's giving the news like Walter Cronkite anymore, you know.
No, nobody gives straight, like, these are the facts. On the 10th, 3 people died. This guy had bullets and he was arrested. Like, that's how a story should go. It shouldn't just be about, you know, Donald Trump, the so-called president. It's like, oh my God. Like,
yeah.
What was your worst trip, dude? Did you see a black octopus come out of the toilet?
What was that, Paul?
I said, I said to Hippie, what was your worst trip? Did you see a black octopus come out of your toilet?
No. My worst trip.
How many times have you tripped? Okay,
worst trip. Halloween. Next
Halloween? That's one word. Halloween?
No.
I'm sorry.
What worst trip was Halloween? Answer to the question. Pass.
Oh, really? Well, you know, fuck it.
So it was Halloween and it was a bad trip.
Did you see a baby on the ceiling crawling and its head spun around?
Okay, so my buddy happened across some mescaline, and he I had the bright idea because I was still in that fear and, you know, idolizing Fear and Loathing. And don't get me wrong, I love Hunter S. Thompson. I love.
Do you see him right behind? You see him?
Right
I love Hunter Thompson.
You see him right behind me, right? That's a Hunter S. Thompson right there.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I can't see it right here, but like I've seen it before. Yeah.
Yeah, right there.
Tell me about the fucking golf shoes, man.
Hell yeah.
So you taking mescaline?
But I was.
And then we ate some mescaline and went to the beach.
Halloween, for a Halloween party. I'm sitting there on the couch, and my best friend from elementary school, who I had not spoken to since I moved, like almost 7-8 years prior, walked in the house, sat down next to me, and we had like this big old, you know, conversation. Apparently, he wasn't there. I was just sitting there on the couch, like talking to myself.
Whoa!
And so my buddy, so the host of the party, had gotten like bad information that I was just like mixing, different drugs and stuff like that, which I had not. And he has this bright idea of throwing me into a cold shower, like still clothed and everything, just, you know, he didn't want to be weird and like take my clothes off and shit. But it, like, I don't know what he was thinking. That was a good idea to do to somebody who's clearly on a psychedelic trip. And I woke up. Okay, so I remember like vaguely being on like a stretcher or whatever, and like a bunch of, you know, close loved ones who are still alive were, you know, kind of like looking down on me stuff, and all of a sudden they all just like melt like a wet painting, and I wake up in the emergency in the ER.
Jesus Christ,
dude! Now listen. You just mentioned
that was probably the worst trip.
You just mentioned Fear and Loathing Las Vegas, and that instantly reminds me of that scene where they're in that Hollywood. I mean, they're in the Las Vegas hotel room, and they do adrenochrome. And bro, I know that all of these Hollywood scumbags do adrenochrome, and you're a hippie, and you've had a lot of opportunity to do different psychedelics. Isn't there a part of you that really wants to do some adrenochrome?
Oh, I've never stumbled across that.
I'm on it right now.
I know you are. Look at that black hair. You don't have any gray. What do you use just for men?
It comes in right over here.
You piece of shit. You use. God.
I've been getting great. One of the biggest compliments I ever had in my life was when Antifa doxed me, and I was with Milo, and I'm like smoking a cigar, and I'm having my beard out and shit, and they were like, "Look at this fucking guy dyeing his beard black," and I went, "That's how black my fucking beard is. That's how black that you think I dye it, because it can't possibly be this, but it is fucking
Dude,
like a pitch."
You're lucky, bro. God, mine used to be like that too, and believe it or not, it just changed over the last like 5 years. When I was 35, all black, and then it just started turning over the last 5 years.
I got grays here and right here. You have like a Paulie Walnut's beard. Like Paulie Walnut's hair is just on your face now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Exactly. That's right.
I wouldn't even mind it if everything went white at the same time. I'd be cool with it. The problem is getting like the little salt and pepper fucking things. Like I wish it just Mark Twained out. Like if I just looked like Mark Twain, I'd be great.
Hell yeah, dude. What about you, Bass? Do you got any gray in your dreads?
How old are you? How old of a man are you, Hippie?
Not that I've noticed. There have been little ones popping out there.
Are you over 30?
33.
You're 33. All right. Well, you got a few more years. Gavin says whatever you got on your hair when you're 37, you get to keep. I hit 37 this year, so I'm thinking I get to keep all this.
Is that, dude? Are you serious?
That's what Gavin says. I believe him because I'm 37. So I was like, you know what?
Oh my
I'm fine with this hairline at 37.
Dude, I'm good too.
Another one of the reasons I keep.
I
the
haven't
dreads.
really cracked too bad. I'm pretty happy.
I'll take the gray, man. I don't have any balding.
You don't have any balding. See, that's good. How old are you?
40 years old.
Yeah, once these
Doing
go.
all right. I think it would have gone already.
Hell yeah, I made it.
Yeah, you made it. You
Once these go,
it's like the Survivor.
They're gone for good.
No! What happened? Was that God who did that?
I'm kind of married
to
to the hat at this point.
What did God do to you?
Did you see what God just did to you?
Oh my
God didn't do that. You did it. You're a goddamn narcotics agent. I knew it.
Now you've been growing that your dreads and stuff like that for a long time, huh? How long?
About
7
7 years.
Oh, okay.
Somewhere in there.
Is there gonna come a point in time, do you think, where you'll shave the head and start anew?
Yeah, the day I do that, you guys don't know me.
Why not?
What
Is it part of like it? I mean, it's just hair, right? Or no, or is it? I mean, I have long hair, and you know what? The Native Americans believe that the hair is an extension. Like we're weird animals, right? Like all the other animals have hair all over them. We just have like all this hair right here on the top of our head, right where our brain is. The Native Americans thought it was kind of like an antenna, and it would keep you more in tune with the universe to grow your hair. And so apparently also you just can keep growing your hair until a certain point and it will just stop growing. That's what I also read or watched on the internet.
I'm pretty sure that's true. My hair always got to a certain length and never got much longer.
Yeah. So anyway, I mean, it's weird.
Well,
so
if it's like an antenna, should I start wearing them out like this?
But that's like, once I cut all my shit off, like I was like, oh man, what was I doing my whole life? I had to like shampoo and put all this crazy shit. And now it's like, yeah, man, all right. This is manageable. This is nice. Well, I had long hair for forever.
yeah, so
the heavy metal hair thing going.
you don't feel like more retarded now that you've shaved your hair, right?
No, I feel
Okay.
way less retarded.
All right. No, I was just wondering if your
All I know
intuition
is
had ceased. Sorry. What?
all I know is that when I finally do cut the dreads, the first time I go to a concert and there's a fucking mosh pit, I'm probably going to literally shed tears. I'm like it's gonna be rough.
Oh, dude.
Really?
I love mosh pits.
Because whipping around a fucking dreads in a fucking mosh pit, like
I haven't been in a good pit in a while. I hate
it's
to
work
say.
in general. Like
Dude, they do weird shit now at pits, man. You go to
I know that's one of the things I miss most about COVID or from COVID.
Yeah.
Have you seen these people that just go around trying to like fight you and shit in the pit? Like the pit is
That's
totally
been happening for forever.
Dude, that pit is totally changed from what it was before. It was not like that. It wasn't that kind of moshing. It wasn't like doing a fucking karate dance or whatever.
Yes, there's karate dancers now.
What the fuck? That's so insane.
Depends what band you go see. If you go to see
hardcore.
Yeah, hardcore. If you go to see Hatebreed or Sick of It All, there's going to be karate dancers throwing elbows.
Dude, there should not be.
No. Because like my friend got into a fight with one of those guys. He's like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
I know they got too close to me, and then you naturally want to like fight them.
Have you ever been to a show where they made you play Braveheart, which is the most fun thing in the world?
Wait a second, Hippie still. Hippie's.
Oh,
we lost Hippie.
All right, let's get the talking in.
All right, let's get the talking. Now listen, let's talk shit about Hippie. I really want to talk shit about Hippie for a second. While it's you and I right here, please. Now,
lovely guy.
Fuck, he's coming back. Hippie.
Oh, thank God.
Got it.
What's wrong with your fucking phone and everything?
No, everything's good. So you got the sluts on there. You're the Salt Lake, Utah chapter of the Proud Boys. And let's get your credentials, man. You said you're a floating fourth degree. Were you out in the Capitol? Huh? Were you out in the Capitol?
I was in DC. I was in DC.
Were you wearing a Viking hat?
Which
for all the FBI who are listening now, did you storm the gates of the Capitol? Did you storm into the Capitol? Did you enter the building?
Nope. I ended up going. No. Okay. I ended up not going in. I just ran first aid. People that were getting tear gas and stuff.
That's good.
Yeah, you pulled some hippie bullshit.
But I just
you got to go back to what you know.
You sold spaghetti in the parking lot.
Oh, and then sung Harry Krishna songs.
Grilled cheese, man.
That's exactly what they do. They do the spaghetti buffets or whatever they do. What is? Remember? Don't they?
Yeah.
Harry Krishna.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I was just listening to that song, by the way, by George Harrison today. I don't know why.
I love George Harrison.
But the Hari Krishna. Yeah.
Yeah. George Harrison.
I was getting
the only one that
was getting in the mood to talk to a hippie.
I'm the only one that ever found it ironic that they're the Hari Krishnas and they have no hair.
They're not hairy Krishnas. They're hairless Krishnas.
Yeah.
Always coming up to me at the airport. Do I look like I'm gonna fucking join?
I thought it was that like for the longest time.
That's the thing with looking like me. Everyone I meet either thinks I'm a serial killer or they think I want to hug them or something. Like there's no middle ground where like people don't like leaving me alone for some reason. And when they see me, it's either they're terrified of me. And I mean, I have like knives and stuff tattooed on my arm. And some guy in line for Walmart was like, "Oh, are you a barber or something? You have like scissors?" And I'm looking at my arm and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I have." I just like sharp things. So I had him put a bunch of sharp things. And the guy, I swear to God, took like a 10 feet back up, like, oh, okay. And I'm like, I'm not going to rob you, motherfucker. We're talking. But then there's other people who just, I swear people have come up to me on the street and just went, "Oh my God," and like started hugging me to the point where I'm like, is this one of my mom's friends or something? Like, what? Do I know you? And then by the end of it, I realized we have never met and I'm hugging a fucking stranger. I once hugged a black dude on accident.
I'll do that to people that like I know I've never met before. Just go and be like, "Oh my God, I haven't seen you in so long, man," and like it's just see how long they'll go along with it.
Yeah, I was on, what was it? VH1's Hip Hop Honors years ago. And there was this big black dude in the supermarket, and I'm walking around, and he goes, "Yo!" And in my head, I'm like, I must know him from somewhere, but I don't know where. Maybe I worked with him or something, and maybe he's a buddy of a buddy. And then I go like, "Yo!" And I just give him a big hug, like we're buddies. And he looks at me and just goes, "You're on VH1 Hip Hop Honors." And I'm like, and now I'm just hugging a dude in a supermarket, like a weirdo.
That's right. Really?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
hilarious.
I'm pretty good with pretending
That's
I
awesome.
know people, particularly at Proud Boy meetups. I'm good at pretending I know people who I'm like, I seem to have been important in your life. Maybe we had a conversation or something, but I do not know who you are. And they're like,
Dude.
my man. I'm like, my man. And I'm just like, I got to figure out who this motherfucker is quick because he's not leaving me alone. And he's like, remember, and
Comes
it'll
again,
always
like
be an
20
inside
questions.
joke, like, yo, remember the rabbits? And I'm like, yeah, the rabbit, that must have been a thing we did. I don't know who these people are. I get it constantly. There's people who come up to me all the time. It's crazy. And you have more of a friendly visage, Hippie.
I definitely get that a lot. Having driven Hippie bus for 6 years, because a lot of people they do that travel thing, on a whim. Sometimes it lasts 2 weeks, sometimes it lasts 2 years, sometimes it never ends. But for the ones that like a good majority of them, usually it's like a few weeks tops. Or they're traveling, just regular, like funded, took vacation, have a job and everything, but they got thrown into a shitty predicament, broken down the side of the road, helped them out. But when your vehicle, gets them from, A to B for, the majority, if not the entirety of that little window of experience that they'll take with them, for years, if not the rest of their lives. You leave, they remember you. Whereas, it's like, yeah, man, from my perspective, they were on like year 3.5 or something like that, and we're in there it was only for like a day or two. Whereas a lot of my road dogs would be there for weeks, months, even come back to California, would work with me, but shit. Hold up. Where are we going with that?
You lost your train of thought again, Hippie.
What happened, Hippie? Is the
goddamn-
how many of those?
That's a thought.
How many of those red
It's a
pills
thought
did you
bubble with
take before
wings
the
that
show?
flies.
Now, what when you're at your meetups, do you engage in conversation with the fellas and then lose your track of thought, and then they're like, goddamn Hippie, fucking Hippie? Is it known that Hippie does this?
But I'll usually remember exactly where I was going with it, just like randomly, like 5-10 minutes later, and just like blurt it out in the middle of a conversation. And I look like I have fucking some articulate form of Tourette's.
Please feel free to do that right now. If there's something that comes to your brain, blurt it out. If it comes to your brain from whenever in the conversation, and just blurt it out. Thank you very much.
What's the longest you ever stared at the sun?
That's the thing. There's shit goes through my brain at like twice the rate of my mouth, and it's kind of like I liken it unto like a hamster on a motorized exercise wheel.
Does he have a broken
leg?
leg?
Get a good little gallop gun. Thump, 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 thump. That's my brain in my mouth.
So are we super slow to you?
No. My thought process is like going a mile a minute, but my mouth can only keep up so much.
I thought you were just having a requiem for a dream moment where we're like in slow motion and you're just like, I don't know what's going on. I have no idea. I was on a bus. It was crazy. People come up to me. They hug me. They grab my balls. And we're just like, that's very interesting.
Oh, yeah. So it sucks when you run into somebody like years later, like on the other side of the country, and they they see you and they're like ecstatic. You're like, oh my God, I can't believe it. And everybody always has the exact same like posture and everything. It's always this one. And I feel bad because it's like you were really excited to see me. I don't even remember you. Now I feel like a dick.
Well, don't feel like a dick. I'm still excited to see you. No, but
that's how it always is.
No, not always, but like
a lot.
It's enough to where, yeah.
Or it happens
just because
enough.
I've given literally hundreds of people rides.
Oh, wow, that's crazy.
Mustache rides.
That's crazy.
You know those two.
I could definitely get into it, man. I could definitely see myself getting lost and becoming a hippie for a little while, just saying, fuck it. Fuck this, dude. Fuck this life. Fuck this business. Fuck this fucking person over here, Paul.
I get that a lot.
I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna be a hippie. I don't care. I don't want any responsibility. Fuck this.
I don't like the driving.
What? Why? That'd be so fun.
It's a lot easier these days with all them Biden bucks and shit.
Yes, it is. My fantasy is to live like Michael Madsen and Kill Bill. Like just have a trailer in the middle of the desert. The only way you know how to get there is if you've been there before. Have like a pickup truck somewhere and just a shotgun and a rattlesnake. Like that's how I'm going to end my life, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I always have a fantasy of like living in a cabin in the woods or something. It's not. I have a fantasy where I'm just driving because I've driven a lot. So to me, I'm like, all right, yeah, great. I'll listen to podcasts, drive around, stop the gas.
I think that would be very fun to get like a camper and drive that all over the country. That would be fucking fun. Hell yeah.
I think once it would be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know what?
It's expensive on gas.
Actually, at some point in my life, I will do that.
If you learned a gas jug.
Yeah.
We'll do it together. And then we're going to get gay married by a guy dressed like Elvis.
All being a hippie is basically you go on vacation at some point and then the lines blur and you go, fuck it, I'm still on vacation for life. I don't care. Right?
No, I'm not lazy. I'm just a minimalist, man.
Hell yeah.
Well, or you do like you pretend like you're on the lam or something. You get a chick, you do the Natural Born Killers thing. You just drive around the country acting like you're hiding from the cops.
I love where your mind goes with all this. Like that's
just be ready to be hashtag me too.
That's how little hippie is in me. Everyone else is like, I want to eat a mango fresh from the tree. I'm like, I want to live in a shady hotel room with a girl named Montana and just be like, oh, come on, baby.
I go out murdering people.
I'm not going to go out and murder people. The FBI watches this show. It's all the views we get. I hope you're fans, boys. We love you. We support you. That.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, okay, so I would be a lot more open to the idea, or more accepting of the fact that, our Fourth Amendment is all but eroded as far as like mass surveillance and everything goes. If we were able to have like a hotline, like free access, the free instantaneous access to all the shit that they're recording. You get an argument with the girl about something that you did or did not say. Like, hold up, I'm calling the NSA. It's like I feel like, come on.
Do you have a recording
the New World Order
of that?
could definitely reevaluate their approach of how to get take away that Fourth Amendment by appealing to
That's what
people's,
Bobby does with his show. He records it and puts it out there so the FBI doesn't have to go through all the trouble of buying the expensive equipment. And it's like, just tune into the stream, man.
Dude, that is exactly why I haven't been arrested yet.
Yeah.
They go, this fucking idiot is highlighting every single Proud Boy. Oh my God. Let's just let him keep going.
Yeah, one day we're going to all be on the cover in the newspaper like the 9/11 hijackers, just looking frowny and like,
And it will all be screenshots from Pickles podcast.
Where it's like, this man brought us the treasure trove. We had a hippie. He lived in a van abusing an arthritic dog for years.
Well, no, it was like that one guy, Block, man. Do you know about that guy?
Who's Block?
Eddie Block.
No.
He's the crippled dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know him.
Yeah.
You know that son of a bitch, right?
I met him at West Fest. I went West Fest, and he was there in DC.
Well, Eddie Block.
That's unfortunate. Got people fucking.
He's a scumbag. That's it.
Eddie Block stormed the Capitol at DC? That's crazy.
Yeah, he rolled right in there, filming the whole thing and stuff like that. And then they used all his all his. I guess he live streamed it. I don't know, but FBI came to his place, took all his stuff, and no, I think he sold it. I think he sold it. Yeah, I think that's actually the official story. That's why he's a scum. He sold it. So.
Sold it to who?
Yeah, I did read that.
To the media.
Oh,
The
man.
news.
Yeah.
I hope you got a nice little payday out of that, you fucking douchebag.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing that I didn't get.
I bet you got less than that
Hey,
fucking John Sullivan Antifa motherfucker did.
Yeah, that's true.
John Sullivan got a fucking windfall of cash, and they're gonna give him a slap on the wrist and say, you're a good little Antifa guy, and tussle his hair and let him fucking go.
Wow.
They do that with every Antifa guy that gets arrested. That's exactly how they treat them. They go, well, we can't really prosecute him. if a Proud Boy spits gum on the fucking sidewalk, it's in the newspaper for the next month. And they're like, the fullest extent of the law. We've never seen the erosion of democracy like this. And it's like, I don't know. I just didn't like Hubba Bubba that day. It's like, no, you are the worst human of all time. And they fucking get prosecuted like Max and John did to the fullest extent they could possibly do it. They spare no expense. But Shari de Blasio gets arrested with Antifa, with the guys who attacked Max and John. And she fucking... Like, her dad gives a speech about how proud he is of her, and then nothing happens to her. They're just like, get out of here, you, with her fuck capitalism tattoo on her pussy.
Look at her mugshot.
Oh, it's one of my favorite things ever.
And do a side-by-side with the judge from the final scene of Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
I can see that.
It's uncanny.
Yeah. Well, and the fucked up thing is, she's actually kind of cute.
Is that meme? What is it? It's like a known meme.
Shari de Blasio?
It's just, I don't know if I
What's
saw
her
it
name?
or what, but like,
Shara
I'm pretty sure, like, the first
Shari de Blasio?
The first time I saw her mugshot, my mind immediately went to Roger Rabbit.
Oh, okay.
No, she fucking... Well, that's the thing. She's kind of cute.
Yeah.
And it's one of those other sad stories of look how liberalism fucked you up. Because she looked really cute a couple years ago and really dignified looking and everything. And all of a sudden, she literally looks like a meth head crazy person in her mugshot. And when she becomes the crazy person, then they go, she's doing good. Let her go. And it's like, oh, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Like before we started rolling, we were talking about another.
They all look a little bit crazier.
Yeah.
When you take off the mask, it just like tussles the hair naturally. It's just like a natural. Yeah. And let's just add a little bit of crazy.
We were talking about that girl from a few years ago, Moldy Locks, who got punched in the face at a rally in Berkeley. And all the pictures of her before she joined Antifa were like, she's just the sweet looking, cute, gorgeous fucking girl. And then oh my God, yes.
Holy shit.
And like I said,
now
that's how bad she looks. Look up a picture of her from before that. She's actually kind of cute.
You know what that looks like? That looks like an induced state of hypnosis or like so.
That's not bad at all. Look at that,
man.
Nothing wrong with that. Do you remember me, Eddie, when I killed your brother?
Your brother? I got just like
Oh my
yeah, man. She fucking, but that girl Moldy Lock, same thing. And there was all sorts of comparison photos of like before and after girls go to college and they have like half their head shaved and green hair and they just look fucked up and they don't shave their armpits anymore. And it's just like, what the fuck? Like, I'm sorry, man. I've had a lot of teachers in my life. Some of them are good. Some of them are bad. I've never been like, my whole life is changing. I'm going to dress different. I'm going to do, my sociology teacher told me I better look like a fucking douchebag and bash the fash. It's never happened in my fucking life. I do not get it. I look like a douchebag completely on my own.
Yeah.
Douchebag.
Yeah. I didn't need help from a fucking college.
Yeah.
Douchebag.
Douchebag. That's how we started this. I talked about all the different bags, the dirt, douche, and scum bags. And the reason why I said that was because the gentleman they were speaking with, the hippie-based hippie, used to be a complete scum, admitted. And that's what would you say that's what you were? Is that what these people are? These people that are leftists, are they just scum?
They're the end product of decades worth of psychological research and manipulation
Yeah.
carried out by the deep state, in particular the CIA and KGB, and most of the knowledge plucked from fucking Operation Paperclip after World War II.
Yeah, and I'm not too fond of PETA either.
Yeah, you're right. So it's not really they're not really bad people. It's just that they're dumb.
They're dumb.
Yeah.
They're not good at fighting either.
Yeah, I mean, when you consider the psychological bombardment of the senses from the time you open your eyes to, especially if you live in like a city and whatnot, especially now that we have screens in front of our faces, when we're barely walking and shit like that. I can show you 23 different patents, U.S. patents that are directly attributable. When you read the patent, it's describing a nuanced aspect of literal mind control. When you have the sensory control over entire generations for the majority of their waking life, like it's the chips are stacked against you to come out with a head on your shoulder.
There you go, my hero, Rowdy Roddy Piper.
Yeah, I'm here to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm almost out of bubble gum. Right?
Yes.
They live,
That's
bro.
right.
They live really is like a documentary film, But yeah, it's wrong of me to call all those hippie people and all these people that are just, they're just dumb. They're not dumb. Yeah, they're manipulated. They're manipulated 24/7, and they buy into all the stuff, man. All the bread in circuses. Is that what it's called?
Yeah. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
They're consumed with all that stuff, man.
I love bread and circuses.
But I think that when you're free to do whatever you want, basically, what they say is, what is it? The idle time is the devil's plaything, or whatever it is. So it's the same thing. Like if you're
Idle
a hippie,
idle hands is the devil's playground.
if you're the hippie and you're traveling all over the U.S. in a hippie bus, you have a lot of idle time, don't you? You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's just.
Oh yeah.
It all just breeds into its, and I'm glad that this brother woke up. He finally came around. He's a proud boy. He's making a difference. That's fucking
Me
awesome,
too, man.
And I'm so happy that we got to have this conversation, and 3 based proud boys.
I got sidetracked in my credentials too.
I know.
We did it.
You always do. Continue.
Oh yeah. Well, this the last Portland one. And then just Salt Lake. That's where I got my 4th was. We started around in Salt Lake the day that the Floyd protest erupted.
What did they do to you?
What's that?
What did they do to you? How did you get your 4th? What did they do? They throw a brick at your face?
There was all sorts of shit being chucked at us. There was maybe I think 8-ish of us, and surrounded shoulder hundreds of protesters around us, and luckily we parked real close and we were able to hop in the truck, and somebody hella dents into the truck just from shit being chucked. Somebody even hit it with a hammer or a rock and shattered the window. Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
I got a question. What about what's going on with Chief Bowles over there? Isn't there some kind of situation with him? Did you guys kick somebody out?
I don't know, and I'm not at liberty to. Yeah.
You are in Liberty.
I came in. Yeah. No.
Welcome to Liberty.
No, apparently there was a gentleman in their chapter who's been completely disavowed because what? Because he was trying to bridge the gap between Proud Boys and BLM. I guess he was like talking with a BLM chick or
I
something.
did hear that.
Yeah, I don't know what happened with that. I don't. That's kind
I
of
didn't
crazy.
pay attention to it. I figured that would sort itself out.
So he didn't have like you inside of there pulling for him, being an ex BLM person. Wow, he just got kicked right out. Oh well. Nothing. This guy's good. He's not going to talk. That's why he hasn't been arrested for the Capitol siege yet. So
I got my 5th degree by painting Gavin McInnes's
Dude, if
guest
that was a
room.
pre-planned siege, I missed the fucking memo, and so did everybody I talked to that day.
Well, did you see the article that came out today?
what?
There was an article about all the documents that dropped and all the stuff that they have on us and all the stuff or us, like the Proud Boys who were there or whatever, and all the conversations and things on Parler that were said. And I'm like, oh man, I opened it up like, oh, I'm about to see some shit. Literally things that were said that they're like, this is so incriminating, or things like, hey guys, don't get drunk when you're in public. Wait till we're off the streets before we start drinking. Like that's, and they're like,
I thought they said they were a drinking club. This doesn't add up.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, aren't we supposed to be a drinking club? Like that's what they do. They drink. Like, are they literally like? And what's the off the streets is like? Oh, you can't say that. And they had something like somebody said boots on the ground or something like that, which is a expression, and they use that as like, can you? They're saying boots on the ground. You know what that means? It means storm the Capitol. I'm like, is that what
they coordinated sleeping arrangements when they came from the same hometown?
No, they literally said they made travel arrangements. They raised money for travel. Was like one of the. I'm like, yeah, that's how you get to places sometimes. Like, what are you talking about? Like you know that's legal, right? Like you're allowed to be like, hey guys, a bunch of us are going to DC. Anyone want to throw us a few bucks? Oh, great. Somebody did. We're buying a plane ticket. Like that is their big evidence.
They
like,
need a boogeyman.
That they, for all the shit that they're saying about the guys who were down there, you would think they'd have some atom bomb, like, Enrique being like, remember, we strike at dawn. The night of the long knives begins. Like you think something. They have nothing. And it's hilarious. Just like in the George Floyd case that's going on right now, the more shit comes out from the defense, the more you're going like, dude, this guy's going to fucking walk. Like they really don't have very much. And if this was a fair trial, I think he's going down hard. But if this is a fair trial, they're literally like they have notes from his doctor from 2019 saying, stop taking opioids. You have heart condition. It's like, that doesn't get fucking reported, but it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, man, like, again, Proud Boy spits gum on the sidewalk, and it's like, was that his signal for the insurrection? It's like, son of a bitch, man. Like, if they paid 1/10 of the fucking 1% of the attention they pay to us as they do to, I don't know, why don't we look into, off the top of my head, Islam? I'd be shocked at what they fucking find. I'm sure they'd find something. And it's like, Antifa, look into it. Infiltrate these fuckers. Put some undercovers in there. Watch what you find immediately. And they're dumb enough to fucking fall for it, believe me. They're dumb enough to fucking take in every agent that comes their way. But it just is shocking to me that they don't even like look into this. And then it's like, if there's a fist fight in New York, they're like, no one's ever had a fight in New York before. How could this stand? And it's like, what? Like, it's New York. People fight all the time. Like, you're going to give these guys years? Like, we have to. We can't let this fly. All right. Fuck. So, that's where we're at.
All right. So, the smell of patchouli is, emanating the room. No.
Not a
The
patchouli guy.
smoke of Satan has entered Bobby Pickles' podcast.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, all right, dude. So,
All right, Manuel.
it's been good.
Yeah, man.
We learned
Thanks
a
for
lot.
having me on, brother. Sorry.
Thanks for joining the winning team.
What did we learn?
Yeah.
We learned that, we get a lot done when we take it slow and just figure it out, and we can get back to it when if you have an idea, you have a thought, or leaves your brain, you can come back to it.
We'll
fine.
figure it out. I think we were all having fun, and I'm glad you're on the winning team, bro.
Exactly. Yes. Thank you so much.
It's like losing a bird indoors and like not knowing where it went, and then just like 20 minutes later, it just comes out of nowhere and just bam.
You are a bird indoors, hippie. That's what you are.
It's a complete dichotomy. This brotherhood is a complete dichotomy. They want to try to peg us for something. They want to say we're white supremacists. Look at the eclectic array of Proud Boys. This guy was a former, is still a hippie, obviously, but he's a reformed hippie. He's a proud Western.
Born again American.
Chauvinistic hippie.
Born again American and a proud Western chauvinist.
Born again American.
Refused to apologize for helping create the modern world.
Born again American.
Refuses to apologize for the Birkenstocks in his closet.
He's got something there with the born again American. Maybe you could.
I like that.
Turn that.
That's actually a nice little hashtag. Hashtag born again American. I came up with it.
No, you did not.
Yeah.
Although you would tell everybody you did.
Although they nuked my Facebook.
I've already come up with enough fucking shit for everybody. By the way, Milo's new fucking thing about how he's straight and he's like, I'm doing a thing called conversion therapy. Who do you think came up with that?
Shut up.
I told him a year ago, I said the next tour or event or whatever you do, you should call it conversion therapy. I didn't say come out as straight or do something preposterous. I hate to tell him that you can't unsuck a dick, but it's like I fucking said, do this thing called conversion therapy. And then I just saw him on Tuesday. He goes, oh, isn't the conversion therapy thing wonderful? I'm like, yeah, I came up with it. And he was like, did you? I'm like, yes, you wrote it down. I saw you. He's like, I didn't remember that. I also named the show Get Off My Lawn.
What?
Yes. And I didn't know about this till I was shooting for it, and they went, hey, you're on Get Off My Lawn. And I went, that's the name I came up with. I threw it out, just call it Get Off My Lawn. Like you're an old curmudgeon or something. And I put it out on Facebook, and then I'm shooting for the show, and they're like, here we are on Get Off My Lawn. I'm like, Get Off My Lawn? And I put on the first episode, and he goes, how I came up with the name Get Off My Lawn. It's very intricate. I'm like, no, you heard it from me, motherfucker.
Wow.
I also... By the way, I don't want to get Bobby.
He meant you?
He meant me, but the worst offender of all. And this might get Bobby in trouble. I hate to do that. So this does not reflect on Bobby. I came up with Loomered. I can tell you where, when, and I have witnesses. Because I said it to her repeatedly. I'm like, well, I guess they've been Loomered, because there was no word for what she was doing. It certainly wasn't journalism. And I was like, all right, I guess you've Loomered another one. And she was like, Loomered. Yeah, I like that. I'm going to use that. I didn't realize she was going to write it on fucking everything.
Wow, what an insightful podcast. At the very end, right at the end, coming out, and you got a score right there. That was really good.
Looking good. By the way, where did I get my t-shirt, Bobby?
Oh, you got it from ProudEnzo.com.
And I love that website. I got a bunch of shit from this spot. ProudEnzo.com is one of my favorite websites to go to for all your apparel needs for the born-again American and just thinking man.
Absolutely. If you're
lightweight, it's fun.
American and you're interested in some decent swag, please venture on over to ProudEnzo.com.
Proud American. Get your Proud Boys Did Nothing Wrong t-shirt there. I love it. Got a bunch of cool shit. And, yeah, man, I mean, you can't miss. What do you got?
What do you got there?
That's our chapter's stuff.
All right, so if you're in the South... If you are in the Salt Lake City region and you believe the West is the best, you can go right to the email. What was the email? It's SLUT. It was something at Gmail. What is
SLC
it?
merch. sl.ut.pb. Better just on Telegram. There's I think it's called Sluts merchandise or something like that.
Oh, they got. You're peddling your merch. Okay.
I should. This is a spur of the moment plug that I did. I should have.
Now, do you make nerd merch?
I don't. I don't, but the guys that we have that do it, like they do a pretty good job. Really good job, actually.
What's your
Nice.
favorite thing they have at the store?
And well, I like this one.
Oh, they did the hat. Oh yeah, that's cool.
Freedom Addict.
Oh yeah, do hats. I believe we had patches, stickers, stuff like that. Shirts.
Cross country skis.
Trying to we're trying to do bulk on shirts. So anybody wants shirts, get together with people, make big orders.
Do they have any Proud Boys Did Nothing Wrong shirts? They do not. You can only find that at proudenzo.com.
Listen. If you need any bulk shirts, you should hit me up, Base Hippie. I'd love to talk to you about that too. I know I'm on the other side of, America. We're in, America's penis right now. But I still got a hookup on UPS. So, talk to me. Get with me on that. Give me a shot, man. But I'm going to go into the outro, and I really appreciate having you guys on,
I just want to add, this has been awesome, and I just want to add, you could see some of the proudenzo.com merch on Censored TV, Radio Deadly with Michael Graves of the Misfits every Thursday. I produce the show. We have a Peter Steele tribute show coming up. We have some being kicked around for the show. Some people that are going to blow the minds, particularly of the Proud Boys. Some people who don't give a shit about sinking their career, apparently, want to come on Michael's show. He's doing a fucking phenomenal job. He's working his ass off. So go to censored.tv. You could use the promo code GRAVES, and you could always follow me at American Waste Co. on Twitter. You can follow me, Paul Bazile. That's Paul with a W, Bazile with a Z, on Parler, and censored.tv, Radio Deadly. Check it out.
Paul, where did you come up with that to switch the name around and make make the spelling all interesting, huh?
I've been doing that since high school. It stands out. Nobody ever remembered my fucking name when I spelt it right.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, I'm a pretty cool guy.
Yeah, that's how you plug fucking merch right there.
Dude, you're a trendsetter.
My sales
man.
shit has gotten a bit rusty.
Bro,
what happened?
You're a trendsetter, man. You created Lumerd. Get off my lawn.
By the way, I'd also like to apologize for that to everybody who is wondering. I am so sorry you have to deal with the word Lumerd being fucking everywhere and nothing ever coming out of it. But I apologize. I wish I didn't do that. It is a great shame of my life that I will be atoning for till my end of days. I promise.
I basically gave you Radio Deadly.
You did bring Radio Deadly back from the fucking grave by
gave that to you.
Somehow having the Middle East peace crisis fucking settled on your show. And I
gave you that show. You should thank me right now. Right here.
I thank Bobby Pickle. If anyone,
the guy, no, the most brilliant Proud Boy, the guy that comes up, the most creative Proud Boy comes up with all the shit. Look at you. I gave you something. You tell me that. Yeah.
With a smile that could match the sunrise. Bobby Pickle, if it wasn't for you, and I'm going on record, this is being recorded, I'm sure. If it wasn't for Bobby Pickle, there would be no Radio Deadly on censored.tv. He's the one who, after 10 years of me and Michael having beef, brought two good Proud Boys on to put our bullshit aside, squash the beef. It happened instantly. The second Michael opened his mouth, I realized he was being sincere. Me and Michael have been talking every day since. He's a great guy, family man, really forward-thinking fucking guy. And, I'm proud to call him my friend now. And that all happened because of Bobby Pickle. And somehow, me and Michael got money out of this.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
So
I'm shocked.
You guys are really good buddies now.
We got really tight since your show. Like, I was texting him the day after. I was like, hey, and matter of fact, right now, just for shit to look forward to, I'm working on a music video for him. We're working on all sorts of shit together. His friend Arturo, who's his manager, is the coolest fucking guy ever. And he comes on the show all the time. And Radio Deadly, literally, he had it years ago, and he got resurrected because as we were bullshitting, I was like, you know what, man? We're missing people from Censored TV. You're something different. You would do a great show. And he was like, well, if I'm doing the show, you're producing the show for me. So that's how that fucking kicked off. And it all started with Bobby saying, we're ambushing him.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man. No, and if
we
you
still
ever
connected?
Yeah, we're connected.
Hello.
We're connected, my friend. Do you hear me?
Anyone there?
Well, it's
Hello?
it's a perfect time to just disconnect anyway, because we're pretty
at
much.
least we got the plugs out. If y'all can't hear me,
He got the plugs. What a scum. Hey, listen.
I think the feed might have flown off with my thought process. If anybody sees them, please return them to me.
Absolutely.
At least the thought process.
Brother, thank you so much for being on, okay? I appreciate you being on, all right?
Thanks
Bass
for
Hippie.
having me, man.
All right, Bass Hippie, thank you. Thank you, sir.
Proud of you, boy.
Proud of your boy, Bass Hippie. Oh, my God, that was so fun. Hey, Paul. Hey, Paul, I know somebody... Paul's calling back. Is he going to allow me to add you back on here? Oh, okay. There you are.
I don't know. Oh,
You still
got
on?
me?
Yeah.
Are we still rolling?
We're still rolling. Why? Do you want...
Okay. No. I was like, oh, good. At least we got the plugs out. And when I realized everything froze up, but
no,
yeah,
you're a scum. I mean, you could get me a show on Central.tv, but immediately you get Graves a show, and then
I could barely get Michael a show on Central TV.
You're a total scum. No, I really wanted to tell you that. I wanted to bring.
Do you know
back
how
on.
many times I tried to get myself a fucking show where I'm like, you should put me on. I have some shit to say. They're like,
yeah,
I don't know about that, man. And then Michael comes along and I'm like, hey, we should get Michael on. Gavin loves him, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, could Gavin please start remembering me as the guy who got him Michael Graves and not the guy who fucked up painting his guest room?
Yeah. But you didn't tell Gavin, oh, I did the show with Bobby Pickles first and Michael Graves was on. You left all that part out, right? I know you didn't.
I said me and Michael organically met at a supermarket one day.
I knew you did.
Our eyes met from across the cereal aisle.
Oh, I definitely know that's what happened. Anyway, so let's do a little shit talking really quick. Well, we had base.
I don't know what to shit talk about.
You're pretty good at it. No, but we have. We just had Bass Hippie on, and it's so interesting, right? The whole hippie thing. Is that how a lot of hippies are? Like, or is that just a West Coast thing?
I think it's a California thing.
Yeah, it's a California thing.
I think it's a California thing.
Well, I've seen that like that in Portland too.
Because I saw the look on your face the second you were like, "Hey, it's weird, the East Coast, West Coast." I'm like, "Oh, he knows." Yeah, like he knows what's happening. Where it's, yeah, man. I remember when I went to the Straight Pride Parade with Milo, we met up with these two dudes, and they're both from California. And it was one of the best fucking days of my life. We went for a steak. We're in the fucking car. Milo's talking about all the weird celebrities he fucked, and we're all going, what? No. And we're going, not that guy, fucking whatever. Then we get to a steakhouse. We have a fight with a lady at a steakhouse where Milo's fucking hilariously cursing her out. He at one point she was saying, I worked in DC, I worked in politics, and I know who you are. He just leans right up into her face and goes, you worked at a Sephora. And she just goes, I do not work at a Sephora. And he goes, you're right, your makeup would be better. And I was just going, and as this is going on, I'm just like eating something. I'm like, this food is fucking delicious. The two dudes are running around like maniacs. We get to the Vice, we get to an interview with Vice from there. And by the way, these guys were supposed to interview Milo, never interviewed him. We get to the interview with Vice. Milo starts handing out like Adderall to people, and they get freaked out. They think it's ecstasy. They're like, "Oh, what the fuck are we gonna do?" And they're bugging on all this shit. The one guy sits in a chair. The chair breaks, shatters into a million people. They are our basket cases. And then I'm like, "Hey, listen, okay, we're gonna go back to the hotel room, talk to Milo all day, ask him what." And he's like, "We need to go. We need to go home." And I'm like, why? He's like, Milo's crazy. He's fighting people in public. He's doing this. He's screaming. I'm like, yeah, you're hanging out with Keith Richards in 1972. What the fuck? This is cool. You'll never forget this day. And he was just like, no, I need to get back to my hotel. And they fucking left. And then me and Milo were in the Uber, and things get quiet. And I'm like, you know what our problem is? And I didn't mention this. They were both black. I said to Milo, Me and you are used to hanging out with black guys, so we thought we were hanging out with black guys. We weren't hanging out with black guys. We were hanging out with California guys. So they were at this different speed where everything freaked them out. And like if you told a joke about another guy at the table or something, they'd be like, oh, is everyone mad now? And it's like, no, we're busting balls. Like this is what we do. So there is a California disconnect for sure. And if you're a hippie from California, I don't know what. At first I thought his mic or his headphones weren't working. Did you think that? Because we would ask a question. Did you notice, by the way, for anyone rewatching this, please note that every time there was just a long pause, I would just lean in as far as I could to the camera and then back off when he starts talking. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, man, he seems like a good-hearted guy for sure, but there's just a different wavelength going on, which is interesting.
Yeah.
That's like, even though he's a Proud Boy, it's like, yeah, but he's a West Coast Proud Boy. It's like, I don't know if they could come on and just, and if you ask him more than one question or make a question in a comment, everything gets fucked up and derailed, which became a game for me. Every time you asked him a question, I'd ask him a different question right after you were done.
All right.
How did that go for you? Do the post-game wrap-up.
No, I mean, it was, dude, that dude is really cool, man. And it makes me really happy about our club. Yeah, because it's not all the same people that you would think, you know, the cartoon caricatures that they try to paint us as. So anyway, man. All right. I'm tired. I'm going to go. Yeah. I'm going to go smoke some more weed and stuff and chill out. All right.
What made you tired? Because
I'm a hippie too.
What made you tired? Was it the human Ambien that was?
Dude, we went for a long time.
He's a good dude. I'm happy he's a brother. I'm always happy to see people getting red pilled and people waking the fuck up and going like, you know what? I was fucking wrong. This is my thing now. And these guys aren't a bunch of fucking assholes like I've been told. So I'm happy to fucking meet them. Happy to see them. You're a brother, base hippie. So if you need anything, obviously hit us all up, particularly Bobby.
Yep. And thank you so much for being on. Appreciate it, Paul. I'll talk to you later. Adios.
Talk to you soon, brother. Bye.
Ya. All right. Thank you so much for, watching tonight's Friday stream. All you scums out there, I really appreciate it. If you're in the market for some awesome custom t-shirts, check out fatenzo.com. And if you want some of our line of pseudo-intellectual party shirts, go check out fatenzo.shop for Perry's like these and all the Proud Boys swag that you want. Go check out proudenzo.com. I'm Bobby Pickles, and I've had an outstanding time with you today. I appreciate you very much, but I'll appreciate you more for liking and sharing this podcast. There's a 20-year-old nerd sitting in a back room at Google with cum stains crusted on his pants, deciding who wins or loses in life because he learned how to code while living in his mommy's basement. Are you going to allow that? I don't think so. You better fight back. And if you could do that right now, you can give him a slap today by posting this to Facebook, to Twitter, to Parler. And always remember, friends, vaya con Dios. All right? Hasta luego.
He always says, that's me. With that look on his face, he'll talk about anything. Outstanding. Tattoos, t-shirts, politics, history, and hot sauce on everything. Bobby Pickles. Pop culture, documentaries, conspiracy theories, sarcasm, and fear. It's a conversation.